Twitch, YouTube, hello. Get this set up for you over here. Damon Gant! Terrifying man. So large, doesn't even fit on the screen. And here we are about to have a fun little chat with him. Is Edgeworth going to be okay? Oh, worthy! Oh, you know they're doing a little inquiry committee with him. Oh, God.
Sounds like an inquisition.
Forgot she was my partner. Yep, well, they've had no end of trouble with the boy since last year. You mean the incident on Gourd Lake? It doesn't look good having top prosecutors sit in the defendant's seat, does it? And you've got someone else found guilty in that case, righto? Oh yeah, you know, Von Karma, living embodiment of evil and all that. A legend he was, undefeated in his 40-year career. But in court, you fixed it so he was caught for forging evidence. Wait, I didn't do anything wrong. He did forge evidence. In any case, prosecutor's office is in a bit of a turmoil, you might say. So weird that you're happy about that. Why, they do just about anything to restore their reputation. Now, depending on what the inquiry committee decides, it could be bad for Worthy.
What?
It's downright hard, I tell you. The fact of getting killed on their turf too, I mean. They're being the prosecutors, I assume.
Scientifically speaking, it's impossible.
Yeah, no, he definitely... This is a weird one. Yes, but that's not what the evidence is saying. Goodman was stabbed in 2 locations at the same time. That's what it says. What evidence is this? Now, righto, I can't give away all our secrets just like that. It's not like people have died or anything. And in particular, well, it's a little sensitive. I can't talk about it. I wasn't expecting much anyway. You know, one thing I hate most of all is hiding stuff. Secrets! Can't stand them! But you know, it's a full-time job keeping the chief detective's trap shut.
Ah, he was the one you were picking on earlier.
So I already managed to beat a case where a man fled from karma. Well, that is a tortured pun there, Artman40. But yes, indeed. We are currently in Rise from the Ashes, the final case of the first Phoenix Wright. Huh? You saw that? Whoops! I wonder what it was he wanted the chief of detectives to do.
Let's see if we can discreetly ask him.
What, the chief of detectives? Or... Oh, sorry, you had to see that.
What exactly did the chief of police want you to do?
Almost every character's name in the series is a pun or thematic name. I mean, true, although we're engaged with Emma Skye and Damon Gant, so... You know, 2 not terribly obvious examples of puns, as far as I know. They aren't actually little sly nods or references, but, you know, 90% of everyone else is. Goodman, for example. Well, you see over there, that's Goodman's desk. He wanted me to check it for anything that might be a clue. Took away every last piece of garbage in the trash can.
So nothing belonging to Detective Goodman is still there?
Of course not. Well, except this.
What? You kept something?
Sure, why not? Fucking, are you serious? Why are you the chief? It's not important, he didn't even finish writing it. It's a lost item report, but it's only half complete. Literally...
A lost item report? Did Detective Goodman lose something?
The date on it's February 21st. Better make a note of that, just in case. Half-written document dated 2/21. This isn't a case where it's upside down again, is it? Can only be submitted to the chief of police. I should really get back to investigating the police department crime scene. What, the fucking... evidence locker? Yo, and this guy, my favorite. Must be one of the detectives, mumbling something. I know! The killer used a cassette tape! What a crafty trick! That gunshot was fake! This is good! No one will expect a cassette tape in this day and age! He's not writing a report, he's writing a novel. Still working on that, huh? Follow your dream there, champ. Actually, I was wondering if I could ask you a favor. Well, I never thought the day would come when Righto asked me for help. Well, my character's name is Police. I mean, I think it might just be they didn't bother naming him. But, okay, sure. Maybe his name's Poe for short, and his last name's Lice, named after the least favorite bug. I was wondering if we could investigate the evidence room. You are a terrifying man. Now, righto. Sorry, I don't need to investigate it after all. Righto, please. Do I look like a selfish man? Huh? Heck, if anyone asked me, sir, can I borrow 50 bucks? I'd give him 50 bucks, no problem. So go ahead, investigate that room to your heart's content. Knock yourself out. Okay. Thought you were going to kill me.
It just goes to show you never know until you ask.
And here you go. You can borrow this.
Huh? Hey, is this a detective's ID card?
That's a special card for guests, so don't lose it.
Yes, sir. It's an honor.
Okay, cool. You just run along now and do your best. Later, folks! God, that man. Arg, what's going on, buddy?
Looks pretty cool on my lapel, doesn't it? Just like a real ID.
What's the use of an ID card when most of the text is blurred out? So they can reuse the art asset. See? There you go. Goodman's ID and, oh, we don't have that one. Let me check this. He fucked up writing his own ID number? What? Why? That's not his ID number. It's 58, isn't it? Yeah, it's 584 whatever. And he wrote 59 and then crossed it out? What the why would he do that? Is he an idiot? Anyway, yeah, 221, date lost, 221. Hey, I was halfway through writing something. Anyway, right, I need to make sure I have the guide up for... It's investigation day 3, that the next lunchbox is for the achievement. Never mind, same as usual? That's good to hear.
Yes, sir, we get to go into the evidence room now, sir.
I think this place is a bad influence on the girl. It's a police station, man. Just wants to be a, what is it, forensic investigator. Oh, wait, these guys. Hold on. The odd couple. Ah, damn it. All right. Guard station, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I can get in now, right? The evidence room is beyond that door.
And we have an ID card from Chief Gant. Let's just walk in. It won't open.
Aha! The card reader's turned off, see?
What's that security guard thinking?
Here's this guy, Marshall. Another example of a pun name. Howdy, partner. Well, well, what's made my Bambina's skies so gray? Still a banger theme. Officer Marshall? Why does it have to be him? Who else would it be? Look at the room! What's that? Why does it have to be him to look for? As you may have surmised, this here is my saloon.
We're here to investigate the crime scene.
Yeehaw! That card you got there on your chest. That's better than a sheriff's badge in these parts. Is it?
Yeehaw.
Well, what are you standing there for? Get along, little doggies. Crime scene's awaiting. Great emote. Looks like the card reader's on again. While we're here, I was wondering if we could ask you some questions. Sorry, cowboy, I got no mind to tangle with you hombres. You're busy then? Did I say that? Fair enough. I only said I didn't wish to speak with you right now. Actually, you said you had no mind to tangle with us hombres. What if I give you this steak that somebody put butter on for some reason? That smell. Ah, reminds me of Texas. Our spores, but in Great Ace Attorney games, there are two dudes called Yessa Nosa and Curio Correcta. Wow. Which plays on Yes Sir, No Sir, yeah, obviously, and Curious Collector, or Curios Collector, respectively. Yeah, they got less subtle with the puns as they went on. Shout out to Spirit of Justice for Paul Attition and I'll Be Your Guide. And who can forget the great character Peace, Love, and Understanding? I'm not making any of those up.
So, Officer Marshall, you're from Texas?
No, I just saw a special on the television the other day. Fuck off. Is this from my baby?
Yeah, Miss Star.
What's this? Someone put butter on my steak. The hell?
What? What's wrong?
Filet steak lunch. I see.
I don't see. I wonder what it means.
Steak lunch given to Marshall. Alright, Bambina, you win. Ask... That name's great. My favorite is... Oh yeah, the fucking... It's like, how could this name be any longer or more pompous than it already is? Fuck that guy. Fuck that guy and everything he stands for. That is actually... Yeah, that's his middle name. His actual name is, you know, something completely innocuous. His middle name is that fucking monstrosity, and it's like, come on, Capcom. You're paid writers, for God's sakes, and this is what you've come up with? How dare you? I want your job, is what I'm trying to say. Finally, it seems like.
He's willing to talk.
Alright.
Officer Marshall, you're in charge of security for the evidence room, right?
You got good eyes, partner. It's an easy job, and I'm grateful for it. Actually, Officer Meekins at the detention center told us. That poor little doggy. Poor guy. I keep getting his name wrong, calling him Meekly. That's understandable. He told us something. He said that when the stabbing occurred, you weren't at your station. Well, maybe I shouldn't be telling you this. But since I got demoted from detective 2 years ago, well, it might not look like it, but I lost my fire for the job, you know. Yeah, the fact that you drink openly in front of everybody in the office and carry liquor on top of expensive security equipment kinda clued me into that detail. Hoss.
So, what were you doing around 5:15 when the murder took place?
Well, I reckon I was galloping down the highway on the back of my steed, Zippy. Translators had fun. Oh, I'm sure. It's interesting how the court cases get solved despite people in court constantly pointing fingers at each other. The amount of perjury that happens in this game is insane. You'd think there'd be, like, profiteering off of that sort of legal team. Just persecuting for perjury.
Note, he was riding down the highway on his horse named Zippy.
Somehow I don't think it's a horse, and I'm betting it's like a shitty little scooter. Perjury is the most common crime in this series. Yeah, murder happens all the damn time, but it's way behind perjury. Contempt of court if you count the people that freak out as well. There's no need for people here anyhow. These newfangled machines do a bang-up job of keeping an eye on the place. You mean the security camera system? I don't take the two machines much. Kinda like that stewed broccoli they sneak in next to your steak, you know?
Miss Star told us something. She said you were a detective until 2 years ago.
It was always my dream to be a rawhide wrangler on the scene of the crime. That's all gone now, like a drinking hole in a prairie fire.
You're still investigating the SL9 incident with Miss Star, though, aren't you?
That was my case. It's all solved on the record books, but it smells like a bad game of poker. I barely know it. I can't let it go. That's all there is to it.
What kind of case was it, anyway?
I'm gonna bet murder. Just wild hunch.
We've heard the name so many times, but no one can tell us what actually happened.
There's some things you're better off not knowing, Bambina. Fucking look it up, for God's sakes! I assume case numbers are at least somewhat of a public record. We have access to Gumshoe and his security system. Google this shit! Anyway, that case is officially dead as of 2 years ago. 2 days ago. The day of our case! Did he say 2 days ago? That's right, the evidence transfers. I thought he said 2 years ago. Edwards was talking about the transferals too. I know what maybe two of the machines in here do.
Only 2 of them? There must be a dozen.
Like I said, baby, me and my machines, well, I like them about as much as I like stewed cauliflower with my steaks. The easiest ones to understand are these here security cameras. Those are the ones that Officer Meekins mentioned. I'm so glad this guy's in charge of security. If nothing happens, the tapes are automatically erased every few hours.
And Officer Meekins and Detective Goodman, are they on one of those tapes?
I reckon that might be. What? You're a security guard and you reckon? One more thing. When you go into the evidence room, you need an ID card. That's the card reader by the door. The card reader leaves a record of every ID card that passes through. Who's that Sevens, I wonder? Yo, 420! Yo, Sevens there knows what's up. No idea who 8 is. No idea who 49 is. 58 is Goodman at 514, obviously. So this is the ID card record.
Hey, I've seen that somewhere before.
Sorry, Bambina, I can't show you more than that.
Huh?
I haven't heard whether this is related to the case yet. You fucking what?
Mr. Wright, I saw a number on that record just now. I've seen that number before.
Yeah, it was Bruce Goodman's. 420. Hell yeah, 420. How fast does the Marshal's beard grow? It's actually just cat hair that he glues onto his chin, so it looks like he can shave. Because he's only like 12. Literally have access to the evidence case room. Why can't they just go and look it up there? Solid question. Maybe there's some way I can prove the record is tied to the stabbing. Well, other than the fact that the stabbing victim's number was on the sheet at the time of his death, you know, that little just coinky-dink. Sorry, but could you explain the whole transferal thing to us? We keep only evidence from solved cases in this room. They're kept here under presiding detective supervision for 2 years, so we can reinvestigate them if it turns out there's mistakes. So, what happened to the evidence after 2 years? It goes to sleep forever in the underground vault of the county sheriff's department. That's what we call transferal. We do it every February.
I see now.
Transferal's like a funeral for old cases. 2 years after a case is solved, it's closed forever. Dead. Never to be reopened again. Never to be reinvestigated. So, if I commit a crime and you fuck it up and, like, throw somebody else under the bus for that one, 2 years later I can be like, it was me, I did it, and they're like, no, the case is closed. We can't prove he did it or didn't do it. Because that's a great deal, let me tell you. Ace Attorney's Justice Stilton. Guilty until someone else is proven guilty. You're not wrong. It really is. Although in this case, I'd prefer Meekins to be found guilty since he's not my client. He can become my client once we prove Lana's innocent. But you know, the retrial for Meekins, I'm sure I'll just prove Lana did it and everyone can go home. Double jeopardy. And that happened in SL9 2 days ago. Alright, well, unless I can throw this ID card in your face to get you to show me those numbers, guess I'll be moving along then. Guessing so, in order to avoid double jeopardy. Yeah, Meekins' character design is unusual for the series. He is much more cartoonish than the rest of the cast, I will agree.
See, this is the victim's ID card.
Ah, the one that was on the ground in the parking lot. Number on this is 5842189.
Officer Marshall, show us that ID record again.
Yep, there it is. 498 there came in twice, though. Once at 450, and once... Oh, that must be Meekins. Because he came in... He said he came in right after, Goodman. So, I don't know who 873 is, and 7's up there. Could be, I mean, it certainly stands out, but otherwise I have no idea who it is.
Look, the fourth number. It's a perfect match.
That's one way to put it. I'm guessing it's a bit more cartoonish, as the dude has a chin big enough to sink the Titanic. Yeah, he's gotta be a reference to something, right? He looks almost like a Lupin the Third character, if that makes any sense. Reference that you probably won't get unless you've actually seen Lupin the Third, but if you have, you'll appreciate it. He looks like Inspector Zenigawa. Now, it was used at 514, right before the stabbing. What's more, there's only one of them cards in the world.
So when the incident occurred, Detective Goodman was in the evidence room.
But wait, what did Officer Meekins say? Sir, I entered the evidence room and asked the man to display his ID card. So you asked Detective Goodman to show his ID card. What did he do? That's the thing! Suddenly he pointed a knife at me! Reference to stop sign? What? I don't know stop sign, I have to confess. Unless you're suggesting his face is angled like a stop sign, which I can kind of see now that you say it. It is very hexagonal. If he had his ID card then, why would he have pointed a knife at Officer Meekins? Alright, compadre, you win. I guess I can give you this ID card record. Alright, good stuff. I've got an idea. Maybe I should show this list to other people with IDs here. What's like, Gumshoe, I guess? Maybe Gant? Anyway, let's go into the evidence room, finally. Is that Gumshoe's fishing pole there? Fucking poor Gumshoe. Evidence room, Sector 3. It's quiet. The investigation must be over. It's a car door with a handcuff on it. What the fuck?
So this is the evidence room. It's really kind of like a graveyard.
Graveyards are supposed to have grass and trees. This feels more like a morgue.
Nice try, Mr. Wright. You can't scare me.
Oh, hey, Gumshoe, speak of the devil. Eek! Whoa! Did she smack him? What? Hopefully you don't get tased for that again. Hopefully, yeah.
Sorry, I thought you were a ghost.
A long time since I've seen Lupin the Third, but yeah, Chin Man does remind me of a character or two from Lupin the Third. Yeah, he really looks like it. It's the very simple eyes and angular chin. Specifically Inspector Zenigawa. I wouldn't recommend going around smacking ghosts on the head, pal. It's a solid point. So is it true what I heard? Righto, please, do I look like a selfish man? Heck, if anyone asks me, sir, can I borrow 50 bucks? I give him 50 bucks, no problem. So go ahead, investigate that room to your heart's desire. Knock yourself out. Yeah, Gant gave us permission. Yeah, it's true. So Chief of Police Gant will own anyone fucking goddamn it. Gumshoe, you poor bastard. We'll loan anyone 50 bucks, even me.
Oh, so that's what you were talking about.
Actually, I was put in charge of the investigation for today. Just for today?
Boss for a day.
Well, guess what? You got permission from the chief, so now you're boss for a day. That's not how it works. Gee, thanks. First of all, you'll want to have this. This room floor plans. Nice. So, let me present some shit to you real quick. And look around the room, why not? Yeah, you recognize any of these numbers there, buddy? Just take a look at this. This is the ID record for the people who came in here on the day of the stabbing. Ah, I heard the rumors. So it was Goodman who came in here at the time of the... Whoa!
What is it?
That second number. It's not your ID, Detective Gumshoe, is it? Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, it's his.
What?
The second number on this list belongs to Mr. Edgeworth.
What?
Huh. Why would Edgeworth have come to the evidence room? Well, that's good to know. Alright, let's look around. What's this car door?
Wow, look at this big pile of junk in the corner.
That looks like a car door.
There's probably handcuffs attached to the frame.
Maybe the guy they caught was some sort of escape artist and he got away. Right, sure.
Hey, it's one of those human profiles for range testing.
He's been shot square in the forehead.
Better him than us.
What is that? The hell is this thing?
Sort of bulky.
Some sort of bulky equipment gathering dust here. Why are you surprised by it, though? Between Gumshoe spending habits and salary cuts, needs all the money he can take. Well, it's just that was the detail he fixated on.
What a sorry-looking fishing pole this is.
Ah, that's my personal pole. I never did get around to using it. Hey, it helped me get an achievement. Wait, I've seen that somewhere before. It's 2 months ago, Phoenix. Right, pal, that's the metal detector. The one that led us to solving the case of Gold Wake, remember? Oh, right. Wow, it feels like ages ago. And I don't think I've seen this one before. Oh, that's a bug sweeper. I'm sure it will come in handy in solving some case sooner or later. That cheap-looking box? You can't judge a person or machine by the cover. You gotta look at the heart. I mean, if it sweeps for bugs, that's fairly impressive. What's this thing sticking out of the locker, very obviously? There's nothing sticking out of here.
Looks like a shirt. I guess it must be evidence for some case.
I wonder if Detective Gumshoe put this here. There you go, pal, making me be out to be some kind of swab. I'm not responsible for the evidence here. That said, I bet that evidence locker was opened recently.
How do you know? How do you know?
If you leave things hanging out like that, the evidence gets dirty or whipped. God checks that kind of stuff and notifies detective responsible. How many times have I had him breathing down my neck about some silly evidence?
That's like Gumshoe leaves evidence hanging out a lot, too.
I bet he doesn't tuck his shirt under his trench coat either. Alright. Maybe that's the look he likes. Shut up, Phoenix. If you're gonna talk about someone behind their back, don't do it in front of them, pal. Sorry, Gummy. Yo, what the fuck? What the hell's all this? What's this? Blood? Okay, will come in handy, alright. Bug Sweeper, I mean. Not in this case, though. Oh, is that like a reference to, future games, since this case came out after those?
It's a little worn, but there's definitely a handprint here.
Looks like someone tried to wipe it off.
Mr. Wright! What if there are other bloodstains left in the room?
We should use her testing fluid to find out. Yeah, luminol. We got an open locker over here. What's this about?
Look, this one's open, and the red indicator light above the door is lit.
That locker is coated with Detective Goodman's fingerprints. Detective Goodman's locker.
Are you sure it's okay to leave it open like that?
Well, he's not using it. Well, it'd be hard to get it open again if we closed it. Maybe you should reset the lock. It's empty. They must have taken the contents elsewhere. It's the gloves on the line there.
Someone left behind a glove, but only one.
Detective Gumshoe, maybe? There you go, making me out to be some kind of absent-minded detective. That's evidence from the case, you know. You mean SL9? What's it doing just hanging on a rope? Extremely thin rubber glove. Oh, like the ones, what's her name was wearing? Lana.
What's a solid paint doing here?
Since the dawn of time. Really? We have to go back that far, huh? True art has always been a war against oppression. True art.
I noticed there's blue and yellow paint here.
Perhaps we're witnessing the birthplace of the Blue Badger. Well, you might say this was my studio. God damn it, you made that. Here? In this evidence room? Damn it, Gumshoe. Guess he saw paint. Yo, Artman, we have a rule. Don't be funnier than me. I expect you to show yourself out. I make no exceptions, thank you. Reference to future case in the trilogy. Sorry. Alright, you can stay. Won't spoil which game or case. I kinda spoiled, it's not in this case, hence... Well, he said it's, you know, not in this game. We haven't... It would be weird if we added bugs into this game. I assume not, you know, roaches or anything, but like listening bugs. But I ain't telling more than that. That's fine. I'll get around to playing the other games sooner or later.
Someone must have broken something big to make all these pieces.
Detective Gumshoe. Phoenix, alright, look, there's being mean to Gumshoe, and then there's just kicking him in the balls, alright? Give the guy a break. There you go, making out to be some kind of hooligan. That's apparently from the case.
The case?
SL9 incident, pal. See the sticker on the pieces? No, actually, I don't. Another piece of SL9 evidence. Yeah, take a closer look, why not? I wonder what shape these pieces were in before whatever it was broken.
You wanna try putting it back together?
Ha! Good work, pal. That's no job for amateurs. Why, I spent a good 3 hours on that before I had to give up. That bad, huh?
That's why I always carry around a tub of glue.
Well, this piece looks like the bottom. Let's try putting the rest in place. Oh, God. Okay, well. Nintendo DS puzzle time. It looks like got some teeth on the bottom there. Oh, these are all the pieces, huh? Teeth on the bottom. No. Maybe. No. Okay. Who's your favorite character at the moment? Edgeworth, probably. In this particular case, I really like Gant. He's terrifying and kind of like a what the hell is wrong with you sort of way. Now, Gumshoe's great. Gotta love Phoenix, Edgeworth. I mean, Maya's not in this case, but I still like her. Emma's alright. got teeth on the bottom and like kind of a long flat bit, but... Maybe? No? Oh, I bet you? Yeah, there it is. Okay. This took you 3 hours, huh, Gummy? No, that's... I'm guessing that's the top. I rotated it at some angles. It looks like it might fit. When I meant this game, I mean the first game of the trilogy. Well, yeah. You have a reference in the bottom left. Well, it shows me... Oh! You mean my bit cup. That's a bit counter. Yeah, no, that's the cup for bits. It does bear an uncanny resemblance, though. Those are bit donations. Yes, you can throw bits my way, and if you reach enough, it's hard to see at the moment because there's a white bar there. But whenever I finish a game, we spin a big old wheel for my next game, and I'll put Pokemon Stadium Rental Randomizer on that wheel, because that game fucking tortured me the last time I played it, but who doesn't love watching me suffer? No one, that's who. Half my channel is based around me suffering. The other half is me playing RPGs. Because somehow everyone always has an RPG they want me to play. That wasn't really just a hope and a prayer, that one. It's a longer piece. Maybe? No. Maybe that. No? Okay. That? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Alright, real jagged along the side. That one? Yeah, there we go. Alright, now we're cooking. That's this. No, that's this one. No? This one? This one? It's got like a little clef in the... Oh, this one. Yeah, there it is. Too bad you can't force the pieces in like you can do in your average jigsaw puzzle. Don't take this the wrong way. I'm not sure you know how a jigsaw puzzle works. That's not a lot to go on, by the way, game, whatever the hell you're showing me right here. Fortunately, I think it's the top of something, so... This? Yeah, there we go. Okay. 3 hours, huh, Gumshoe? 3 whole hours. 3 hours. Just gonna let Gumshoe think about that 3 hours. And last piece. We're missing one, though.
Huh? Well, I think we did it, but some of the pieces are missing.
Yeah, I got that far in 2 minutes myself. Ah, I see. The problem is finishing it. Hey, Lady Balo, what's up? True, you're slow, but steadily turning into a dude that people point fingers at and say, play an RPG right there. I mean, you know, as long as I'm known for something, I guess. But still. I don't mind the RPGs, they just take so long to play.
Were some pieces stolen?
I bet they were missing to begin with. Still. It doesn't look like the most stable kind of jaw. No, it does not. I'm inclined to agree.
I kind of understand how it got broken.
Unstable jar added to the scene. Piece back together from fragments found at a crime scene. A piece is missing. Alright, anything else to look at here? Got the paint up there. I do want to check the luminol. The orange light means it's open, I'm gonna assume.
This place is stuffed with evidence. Stuffed with dreams.
I'm not sure about the dreams.
It won't open.
Do you really think it would? Hey, pal, our security here is high-tech. Okay, good to know. That's one ugly jar. Quite a bit. The blood stains probably don't help it, gotta say. Alright, I think that's everything in the room, so... Let's, oh shit, no, the luminol. Every time. Can I, like, present the luminol at shit? No, well, I went to investigate it, silly me. Okay. Allow me to say one thing speaking as a detective. If I see a piece of evidence I know nothing about, I say nothing. Nothing! That's fine. You bet it's fine, pal. How do I use the luminol on this shit? Do I just re-examine it? Blood. Warn. Use the luminol. I'd love to. Guess I can't. Oh well. Oh, spray! Okay, it has its own command. Silly me. Yeah, we knew that. Aha! Is that a Resident Evil reference? To what? Examine the Gumshoe ID card when you had your chance. I don't have Gumshoe's ID card, or I haven't gotten it yet anyway. What? What's this? Blood? Hope it's not Chris's blood. You know what? It could have been. Capcom and all. That very easily could have been a Resident Evil reference. I request only one RPG so far, Vampire, and believe it's not going to take long. No, it's obviously the JRPGs that take forever. Regular, straight-up RPGs, I'm fine with. I did take New Vegas off the wheel, though, because I'm not going to have enough time to... Like, I'll play it on my own, but I'm not going to stream that. There's too many games to get through, and New Vegas takes too long. Oh, I thought you got it to come into this room. No, I got, like, a guest card to come into this room. Gant gave me, like, a visitor's pass or whatever. This is one massive pool of blood. Never seen anything like it. I'm not professional. What's your opinion, detective? Fuck off. You should be fired. Dude, I'm sorry, but you're the worst fucking cop. Pale blue blood. Maybe Detective Goodman was actually an alien.
This proves that something really happened in front of the locker. I'll make a note of it in the floor plans.
Hey, if you didn't want my opinion, you shouldn't have asked. I should have known better is the problem. Anywhere else? Not along here. We knew about that one. Aha! There we go. Wouldn't it be funny if Goodman was actually an alien? I mean, I wouldn't put it past this game. Your Honor! Detective Goodman wasn't murdered. He was abducted! Examine if you get the chance for some funny dialogue. Sure.
Why am I getting a reaction here?
There's no reason for the murderer to touch this spot if he fled out the door. Well, maybe he was, like, trying to brace himself. Oh, no, wait, that's your... If he's leaving out the door that way, why would he put his opposite hand on the wall? That doesn't make any sense. This just might be something significant. Hey, that's some pretty amazing stuff you got there, pal.
What, this? It's called luminol testing fluid.
Where'd you get your hands on that?
Huh?
I'd like to get some, too. Surely the budget in the police department would allow for it. I'll just borrow $50 from the chief. Where did you get this from, Emma?
I always buy it by mail order.
Well, I'd better jot that down on... Jot this down on the floor plans. Mail order luminol. I guess there's no reason it wouldn't be allowed. Any on the floor? Nothing. And over here? Nope. Okay. So what's the scoop there, Gumshoe?
So Detective Gumshoe, your boss for the day.
That's White. It's an honor. After all, the murder took place right here in the police department.
But if you're boss, why are you all alone? Where are your underlings?
They're using yesterday's findings to prepare for tomorrow's trial. In other words, you got kicked out of the investigation. Again. I'm adamant, though. I'm gonna take control and put this case to rest. In my own evidence, waka, pal. You have a locker in here too, detective? Haha! Of course! I'm a detective after all. They gave me a locker that only I can open, pal.
Only only you can open.
I'll always believe in Mr. Edgeworth no matter what happens.
So, Mr. Edgeworth is with the Inquiry Committee right now, right?
Vampire, certainly no Final Fantasy 15. Quite. Or other Final Fantasy games, really, in which defeating one boss can take 2 hours, and 2-hour boss fights are considered shorter ones. Please, there's only the one, like, massive hour-long boss fight in 15, as far as I'm aware. Do you think Emma just carries around luminol and fingerprint powder everywhere she goes, silently praying she stumbles upon a murder? Yes, I do. I fully believe that's what she does. I think in one of the Edgeworth games, that's exactly what she is doing. They're trying to figure out who's responsible for the mess up in court today. I see. I guess this is what you call fate. Mr. Edgeworth just can't get away from that case. That case? Yeah, that case. The SL9. Does Mom die now, too, in an earthquake or something? That was the beginning of the end for Mr. Edgeworth. I thought that was when his dad died in DL6. Really? SL9 was the beginning of the end? Maybe we can get him to tell us more about the case. This place is more high-tech than you might think. Every locker is fixed, so that only one detective can open it. Using their ID cards? Well, that's the thing, pal. ID cards can be lost. Why, I'm on my 3rd card since entering the force already.
That sounds like a lot.
Well, I mean, he's been on here long enough to be a detective. Honestly, that's probably low for Gumshoe. Yeah, but even I can't lose my own right hand.
Right hand? Oh, you mean your fingerprints.
Exactly, pal. The lock for each walker is coated with a fingerprint. How many cases ruined Miles' life? I mean, really. How many lives can one get? Aw, you got a picture in there, huh, Gumshoe? Who's your friend? So the only locker we can open is our own. Why is it your evidence locker and not like your changing room locker?
Funny, they look like normal lockers.
These are the latest model. There's a twig to the handles, see?
The handles?
On the other side of the handle's a sensor, and if the wrong person touches it...
Zap, you get a shock.
If that's what happened, my hand will be black and smoking every day. In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks. They don't know about them, huh? This locker added to the court record. Huh. Ah, he shut it. That's the blood prints on Gumshoe's locker, huh? Alright. Anything else to show him? Let me check these floor plans. Yeah, that's where the blood is. Where the luminol blood. Lost item report. Yeah, what do you think of this? This is my crowning achievement, my masterpiece, you might say. But art is always misunderstood, pal. Art. He was dancing proudly on the day of the awards ceremony, but there were a lot of people coming and going after the ceremony, so they took the blue badger away for a while. Really? Why? Oh, they said it was shameful, something like that. Shameful! I toiled night and day. I sympathize with Detective Gumshoe, but I can see why they moved it. You recognize that photo. Ah, good on you. Myron Spore's character inside the photo makes an appearance in later games. Ah. Good to know. I'd love to have a chat with him about it. But I can't. I guess I'll go talk to Edgeworth. Since it's his number on the... His ID number's on the fucking thing. And yeah, apparently there's another case that ruined your life, buddy. Sorry to hear that.
Well, this place is as classy as it was yesterday.
And I'm sure it'll still be just as classy tomorrow, Emma. Incidentally, Edgeworth's not here. Oh.
I'm sure he's off doing important investigations.
I hope that's what he's doing. I guess we'll have to come back. God damn it. Alright, what am I missing? Detention center? No, nothing new here. Sick beat, though. Criminal affairs. Probably something with Gumshoe or Marshall, since they're still new at this point. No. My badge! Sheriffs back in the Wild West didn't place much faith in evidence. About the only thing they trusted was their shooting hang.
This is neither Wild nor West here.
Aha! This and that are two different things entirely.
I guess so? Huh? Lost.
Looks like we need some evidence to get anywhere with this guy. Right. Evidence floor plans, missing items report. Gumshoe, maybe? Can't think of what to show this guy. What's Ezra's office called? High Prosecutor's Office. He isn't the Chief Prosecutor at Solana. Yeah, it said High Prosecutor's Office. Tell me about the evidence. My bad. Allow me to say one thing. Oh, okay. It's weird that you don't know anything about that, but okay. Can I examine this? Maybe. Oh, yeah, tell me about the blood on this.
Hey, look! They're hard to make out, but there's some dark red stains here.
Looks like blood.
Did Detective Gumshoe's blood somehow get on this when he was stabbed? Sorry, Goodman's blood.
Not likely. This blood looks like it's been here for months, maybe longer. His jar was evidence in SL9. That might be when the blood got on it. Missing piece. Busted ass handle. Okay, that's the only thing. Up. Base of it.
Huh? This thing doesn't have a bottom.
That's weird.
Wonder which side is up.
Better yet, what's the purpose of a bottomless jar? It's a vase, maybe. Ornamental. Nah, it can't be a vase, I guess.
At least it doesn't collect dust inside, right?
I mean, I guess not. Anything to look at here? Still SL9. Tag says SL911. I guess this is another piece of evidence from that case.
You know, I never did care for the word tag. It's confusing.
How so? What's confusing about it?
You know how many other words sound like it? Mag, gag, nag, lag, zag.
Zag? Is that a word?
Do you challenge me?
What, are we playing a word game now? Fuck you! Also, that's a terrible reason. It sounds like other words. So does glove. Shove. That's my one example. Evidence from floor plans. ID record. Some luminol, maybe? Can always try more of this. Oh, no, I wanted... Sorry, I wanted to spray. Might have missed something here. Spray. Do I need to examine this more thoroughly? Ah, yeah, okay. That might be it.
I knew it! This is someone's right handprint.
What the? What's the matter, detective? This waka, it's mine.
It's yours!
Well, I did this out of order. Please! You have to help me when they come to take me away. Promise you'll testify I wouldn't harm a fly. You'll do that for me, won't you, pals? This is an important clue. I'll jot down the floor plans. I'm counting on you guys. Believe me, you can't trust the police. What?
But you're a detective!
What the fuck, Gumshoe? Alright, maybe that's all I needed. Or like, I can't talk to him about his lockers. Can I examine the locker? I can't. Can I have you tell me more about the locker? You can't open the lockers if your fingerprints don't match. If you can open it, they'll give you 50 cents. What?
Note, the police department lacks faith in its lock system.
Yeah, really does. I mean, he's not entirely wrong. Guess she's a Scrabble player. Shout out to Scrabble. Love that game. Yeah, no, he's not entirely wrong, but still, it's weird for him to be screaming like that. After all, Detective Goodman was stabbed here after opening his waka. But at the same time, he was found dead over at the prosecutor's office. Huh. 50 cents for opening them, huh? Again, lacks some confidence. That open up anything new? God damn. More plan? Let me say one now. Okay. I can check that. Yep, that's a locker. Thanks, game. Alright, is there anything else that might be worth, luminoling? Show the ID card? Oh, Goodman's? Maybe. No blood in the paint, no blood along here. I'm surprised there's none on the glove, honestly. Or in the open locker. What about the floor right here? No, nothing. On the door out? Nope. I'd still like to open this. Like, whose locker is this? It's got evidence stuck out of it. Won't tell me. Alright, have a look at Goodman's ID card. That's the victim Detective Goodman's ID card. These days, everything's cards and secret numbers. I can never wax. That's only because you always lose your card. I always forget my secret number, too. Scary, huh? My face should be enough ID. What's the world coming to? Detective Gumshoe, rebel against the system. At least he had a comment about it, I guess. Mine, the phone. Oh, can I check the car's muffler? Oh no, we already did. We found the fucking scarf in it that had the, had this, actually. Hold on, what do you think about that? Detective Goodman's note and the switchblade knife. I bet Edgeworth was most surprised of anyone. Because of the SL9 connection? That was Mr. Edgeworth's first big case, you know, 2 years ago. That was the first time the world knew Edgeworth was a man to be feared. Is it? Because I seem to recall his first case was in the first Edgeworth's game. I mean the record. Oh, I did that already. He said, that's Edgeworth's number. So I was gonna go talk to Edgeworth about it. In the first Edgeworth game, he had a case that got interrupted. And then in one of the Phoenix Wright games, he's, it's his first case, and I think it's against Mia Fey? And I'm pretty sure that's not SL9. So, how many first big cases is Edgeworth gonna have, is my question. Because that's 3 by my count. But why would evidence from the case turn up now? I guess it's not over, pal. Maybe there's some loose ends left on that case. Can I talk to you about that? Hey, there we go, there we go. That was a bloody, violent case. Violent? So it was a murder. A serial killing. Yeah, alright, that's the third case. GD Slap, what's going on? First case were only murder cases. You know, pretty small ones, that's true. Well, actually, the one in the first Edgeworth wasn't a murder case initially. It was gonna be, it was theft, right? There was a guy who, stole something, and then he claimed that, the defense attorney hired him to steal it. So, the defense and prosecutor were swapped out to avoid a mistrial. And Edgeworth was going to be the prosecutor there, but then the witness was murdered, and that was interrupted. I suppose the trial against Mia wasn't as huge as a serial killing case. Well, no, I suppose. I don't remember much of the details about the Mia Fey trial with Edgeworth, but I remember it was his first case. I guess first big case is different from first case. A serial killing? Maybe I don't want to get involved in this after all. Well, it's over now. It was 2 years ago, Phoenix. The killer made a mistake, and Mr. Edgeworth built his case around that to nab him.
And this was 2 years ago.
That put Mr. Edgeworth right in the spotlight, and started the rumor mill. Rumors about forged evidence? It was supposed to be all cleared up with the transferal the other day. It was the last job he ever did. Detective Goodman, that is.
Huh? What do you mean?
Detective Goodman was the detective in charge of the SL9 incident, see?
So the switchblade knife...
The victim took the knife out of the evidence locker himself. Hey, pal, look at the time. Was there something you needed to be going to? It's just that Mr. Edgeworth's inquiry committee should be letting out soon. Ah, what the fuck is that? I'm gonna give him my report for the day. Why is your report feature a buff man? I think. Man? What? It's a restaurant flyer. Why do you have that? It might help, you know? Why is his report written on that?
You mean the note written on the back of that flyer?
The one that says nothing but no problems? God damn it, Gumshoe. Oh, you fucking suck. At your job. Great character, but you suck at your job. Trebia and restaurant. Okay, so that's a thing for later. This case is explicitly tied to SL9. Would there really be the same prosecutor to try both cases? Well, if he wasn't a victim in any way, yeah, why not? As long as he's not, you know, personally affected by this case, other than it's his job, yeah. That's kind of how it would be, I guess. First could have been small or something unnoteworthy, but first big case, a lot of publicity. Also, that restaurant and Buff Dude will come out later in the game. They really ran with the fact that this came out after 3 games, right? Because there's a ton of references to the other games just in this fucking scene. Hey, it's Mr. Edgeworth we're talking about. I'm sure he could use a report like this. I believe in him. Who needs enemies when you've got friends like Detective Gumshoe? I'm off, pal. Waiter. I should probably see what Edgeworth has to say, too. Alright, finally. Time to go have a chat with old Edgy. And criminal affairs. No, I need the shit. I need the police park. I need the prosecutor's parking lot. There we go. And move to the high prosecutor's office. Okay, can't wait for the games to get better about that. Just here's all the locations. None of this go here to go here bullshit. Was forced to admit to killing his father in the DL6 incident, only to be proved innocent, and the true culprit was his mentor after his father's death. Yeah, you know, that sticks with a guy. But that was DL6, not SL9. So I don't know what the fuck SL9 has to do with DL6, other than the letter L. I'm guessing they ran wild with references in this case, since they retrospectively shoehorned it in. I believe you mean retroactively, and I wouldn't say it's shoehorned in. I think they did a very good job for... Because I believe this Phoenix Wright DS was a launch title for the DS. And I think, given this case was made to show off what the DS could do in terms of rendering power in the touchscreen, they did a really good job, honestly. They didn't just fucking slap together a case and arbitrarily add touch controls to it. I think they went all out, and I'm very impressed with them for that. You! What the fuck? Why do you have the bellhop from the hotel in your office? Is he stopping the bellboy? Theories? Thoughts? I mean, really? Like, why else would he be here? He, getting some private tea time sessions with him? Ah, guests, my apologies. Oh, it's you. Have we met somewhere? Huh? Mr. Edgeworth, I beg your leave. So long. Is Edgeworth here?
There, standing by the window, a teacup in his hand.
Right. He has the hotel bring him tea service? Yeah, tea service.
Mr. Edgeworth, you're back from the district prosecutor's office inquiry.
I am. By the way, Detective Gumshoe was looking for you. Ah, yes. He brought me the latest information, it seems.
Really? Was it helpful?
Apparently, a new French restaurant is opening near here. I think he was trying to console me somehow. The real info's on the other side, Edgeworth.
Poor Mr. Edgeworth. I think this whole thing is really taking a toll on him.
Boy, how's it... let me show you the evidence before we get chatting. So, what are you doing here? Fanfics aside, Edgeworth, so I wouldn't be surprised if he strong-armed some hotel for room or office service. I like the case where Red White admitted murder because Phoenix blackmailed him with the list of victims Red blackmailed into suicide, which Red tried to hide by committing murder. Boy, when you put it that way, it doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? Ahem. Oh, right. I better check this now. As I was saying, What's this? A record of ID card usage? Edgeworth, you went to the evidence room that day, didn't you? Just before the incident occurred, no less. Yes, that's true.
Why, Mr. Edgeworth?
Please don't look at me like that. I was asked to go by Chief Gant, no less. Oh.
The chief of police?
That's a good corroborating witness. Sturdy. He wanted evidence for a case that wrapped up half a year ago. A screwdriver. AI-16. God fucking damn it. Can we name these a little better? He told me he wanted to keep it here in the prosecutor's office. Oh, is that the screwdriver from, the red-white case where there was the screwdriver sticking out of What's-Her-Face's desk? But it was solved, right? It would have to be the evidence that was already filed. The chief is never one to explain himself. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here.
Can I ask what kind of case it was?
I can't say. It really has nothing to do with the current case. Now I'm curious about this other case. I better make a note of it. Screwdriver, evidence from a past case of Edgeworth's, brought to the office by Gant's request. AI-1, Ace Attorney Investigations 1. It's AI-16, though. I have no idea what that emote is. It's a white sphere. What the hell? Oh, sorry. Over on Better TTV. Sorry. In my official, in my streaming thing, that just looks like a white sphere. Over on my browser, where I have Better TTV installed, screwdriver. Solid emote. Thanks, Better TTV. Stubborn as always, I told you this has nothing to do with the current case. So yeah, Better TTV. I need to look over there to use the emotes. That's an emote for everything, it seems. Oh yeah, it's gotta be. Anyway, so let's have a chat. So how'd the inquiry committee go? Actually, they decided to treat this not as a case of concealing evidence, but as a communications error during the investigation. Well, you weren't concealing evidence, so that's probably a good thing.
Concealing evidence?
Yes, apparently there are some who believe that I concealed evidence. They gave me a warning. You were lucky this time. Again. Again. I've heard them say that so many times. Ever since that case 2 years ago. Someone's gonna tell us about it soon here, I promise. Are you okay for tomorrow's trial? Well, I'm still the presiding prosecuting attorney. However, something happened. They gave control of the investigation over to the police department.
Police department?
Yes, any further investigation for this case will be directed by the Chief of Police, Gant. I can do nothing but wait for his results. I see. Why, I ask you? Why? All along, I've done only what I believed is right. I have nothing to be ashamed of. But still... Wow, I've never seen him this out of sorts. Some reason I can't talk to him about SL9 until I fucking show him this, probably. I know you've probably got hold of some information already. It all has to do with that case you were on, the SL9 incident. And some dark suspicion we were wrapped up in. I don't think anyone said dark suspicion ever. I don't know why you're quoting that. I think that screwdriver's from the April-May wiretapping drawer case. Yeah, I was thinking that might be. Wait, weird chessboard this cabinet has. What? Oh, you mean, I can't really examine, but we looked at his chessboard the last time we were in his office. It's a blue pawn with spiky hair surrounded by red knights with sharp edges. And Phoenix has some choice words about it. You're a man who revived my worst memory of life. Sorry about that. I figured I'd be telling you about this sooner or later. This is not SL9. He must be talking about his father's murder in that elevator. Okay, Edgeworth. Why don't you tell me about it? Tell me the truth. Yeah, the chessboard right there.
A chessboard!
I'm not too up my chest. Looks like blue's in a tight spot. Red knights have the... Yeah, surrounded the blue pawn. Horses are mounted knights. They have really sharp edges. And check out this poor pawn. Kinda has a head spiky. Reminds me of you. Edgeworth must be a chess player. Edges, pawn, spiky hair. Nah, it's nothing. There you go. But good stuff. I can new comment on that.
What's such a prestigious award? Why would you leave it on the couch?
Yeah, you'd think you'd want to show that thing off more than that giant steel samurai. And again, Edgeworth has always been like that.
Really? Hey, I should write this down. Tell me what it was like as a kid.
Back in elementary school, we won awards for all kinds of things. Speech contests, essays, playing the flute, golf tournaments. You were in school for 1 year together! What the hell?
Doesn't exactly sound like a typical elementary school stuff.
But he always hated receiving awards. He made some smart remark like, yo, he's pogging! There's a YouTube video if you'd like to react to Ace Attorney related. Can I post the link here or in Discord? He's totally obsessed with him. It's not a step ladder, it's just a regular ladder. Why is there a step ladder? That's actually not a ladder I can, observe for that. Yeah, I don't have a Discord group because I don't think enough people care. But people keep asking about it, so I might be wrong about that. How long's the video? Before I commit to reacting to this, tell me how long the video is. I know the path I've walked, no one else needs to tell me. That's how he's always been. Kinda gets under your
skin, doesn't it?
Even as a kid, huh, Edgy? Alright, tell me about the allegations of perjury or forgery or whatever. 30 seconds. Yeah, alright, let's see it. I'll, shut this up for a second and, see if I can't, I'll, try to... Is it this one? Nope. Is it... Wait, is it this one? It is that one. Let me just hide my Elgato here. Oh, no, okay, you can see it. Alright, so let's see this video.
Thanks for the candy, Maya.
Don't forget, there's a joke on the inside of the wrapper.
Oh, right.
Hey, Edgeworth, want to hear a joke?
I don't see why not. Why did the sad ghost get in the elevator?
Oh!
My father died in an elevator, right?
Oh!
To,
Ha!
good spirits.
Ooh.
What the heck, Nick?
I didn't come up with it. Blame the rapper.
Forgive
That's in poor taste.
me for trying to shake things up.
That's not
right.
good. Okay, that was weird. Let's move on from that, shall we? Oh boy. Nick. What the hell, Nick? With Maya on that one. Poor, unfortunate rapper, but you know, probably should have bailed on the joke there, Phoenix. Head of the investigation was Deputy Chief of Police at the time. By the way, me reacting to that has reminded me, I've wanted to look into doing like a chat jukebox stream one day. Like, if I'm just farming achievements in video games to boost the old gamer score. Because, you know, Xbox. I might do like a chat jukebox thing where you guys can throw links my way. Would that, let me know if that would be something anyone else is interested in. Phoenix is sweating bullets like Von Karma. Maya instantly realizes what's wrong, but Nick's steam. Well, I appreciate he's committing to the bit. Don't get me wrong, I admire that. Thanks for streaming. No problem, I stream 4 days a week, Artman. You feel free to come on back anytime. I appreciate his commitment to the bit, but should know when to fold him. Damon Gant. That wacky old coot was involved in a case 2 years ago too, then. He was a top officer. It was my first time working with him. I was nervous.
Wow, you get nervous too, Mr. Edgeworth?
What I want to know is why was a Deputy Chief of Police on the investigation? In truth, I used slightly more extreme methods than normal. Well, not like Von Karma. I mean, Von Karma was sweating actual bullets by the end of the trade. You know what? You're not wrong. An actual bullet in him. We were dealing with a vicious murderer. If I let him go, the blood would be on my hands. We won a guilty verdict and the killer was executed. Wait, you didn't? Of course not. I didn't touch the evidence. Yet I will do anything in my power to win a trial. However, I do have a code and I follow it faithfully. By the way, Emma, the chief prosecutor wanted to know something.
My sister? What?
If you were still studying forensic science.
Huh? Yes, of course. Why just today, Mr. Wright and I were using this?
Luminol testing fluid, hmm? Well then, you might have use for this.
Aluminum powder for taking fingerprints.
Or aluminium if you're British. It's been chemically treated for better adhesion.
For me? Are you sure? We are the enemy, you know.
I've no say in today's investigation. Do as you wish. Edgeworth. I'm really no need to thank me. Here, take your powder and these fingerprint files for everyone involved. Thanks. How about giving these to Gumshoe as well? Really? You think he'd use it for good? You think he'd actually use it, Phoenix?
Well, let's get going. One last investigation.
Right. I do seem to remember seeing a suspicious handprint somewhere. Oh, right. Yeah, over in the, back at the evidence locker. All the way over there. Let's go. Old Marshall not around again. Our investigation turned up a suspicious handprint. 2, actually.
Here, in this blood on the detective's evidence locker.
Let's use the secret weapon we just borrowed.
Right, let's get started. First, choose a finger.
I guess maybe the one that isn't there anymore and we need with luminol. The prints are probably wiped up too. A finger?
Each finger leaves behind a slightly different imprint. So let's choose the finger that we'll need behind the clearest print.
Looks like pointer or thumb. I really can't tell the difference at a glance. You can't tell a thumb?
Quit procrastinating and choose a finger. Okay, now it's time to check for prints. Let me show you how it's done.
Emma's starting to get that sparkle in her eye.
First, we sprinkle the aluminum powder around.
Huh? How do you do that?
With the A button, see?
Ah, looks like that did the trick.
The aluminum powder adheres completely to the print. Once the powder is well spread, just blow it away, the excess.
Aha, right, with the microphone that I don't have. Huh? How do I do that?
With the Y button. Exciting, I know. Imagine you're blowing out the candles on a birthday cake. See?
Wow, that looks like fun. It might take some getting used to, though.
It's fine. It won't go up your nose or anything. Just pour the powder on thick and blow away the extra. Those are the basics of fingerprinting, Mr. Wright.
I guess I better give it a try. I miss using the microphone to blow away. Yeah, I don't even think the newer DSs have that, honestly. Hold on. My 3DS is in the other room. No clue if the newer DS, the 3DS still has a mic or not. Wonder how you'd play this bit if it didn't. You know what I did like when I played this on the Wii? When it first came out on the Wii, years and years ago. If you took the Wiimote and went, "Yeah!" You could have Phoenix go, "Objection!" It was really good. That was a great detail.
Aha! You did it! You found one!
But this looks nothing like a fingerprint.
Now that you mention it, I guess it doesn't.
What does it mean?
I think it means we're out of luck.
Out of luck?
Person who left his handprint must have worn gloves.
Oh. Don't tell me we've been wasting our time here!
Hey, calm down. That's just the way it goes sometimes in scientific investigation. But it does seem a shame. Well, while we're at it, why don't we look for other prints?
Other prints?
Look at the other locker. Look at the locker door again closely.
Well, I mean, there is that one down below it.
Seems like there's fingerprints outside the bloody handprint as well.
Let's see if we can find a clear print. I mean, it's probably Gumshoe's, right? This one right here. You should also yell objection over the mic. The Wiimote didn't have a mic. It had a speaker in it. It would play objection and hold it from the Wiimote microphone, however. Or the Wiimote speaker. That speaker actually had a lot of cool, like, little uses. DS mic. I think you could. I seem to remember hearing... Aha! I seem to remember hearing you could yell objection into the microphone in the Apollo Justice game. Don't know about this game. This trilogy... I mean, I've got the print. What do you want from me?
Yay! A print so clear it's dazzling.
Dazzling?
Anyway, this print looks like it took a lot of effort to find. Let's match it up right away.
So we're not done? This is quite a process. You could. I'll be damned.
Well, there's no point in finding a fingerprint and not knowing who the owner is, right?
I guess she's right.
Look at the fingerprint data we got from Mr. Edgeworth, and point out the person you think who left those prints.
Huh? How am I supposed to do that? No.
I can make a pretty good guess. The bloody handprint and the fingerprints are in different places, right? That means the prints probably don't have anything to do with the other case.
So it's Gumshoe.
So whose fingerprint will most likely find on this evidence locker?
Gonna assume... Oh, hey, we can look at everyone's. So hers is more up and straight that way. Hers is kind of like hooked. It's got a weird loop in there. Hers is a spirally swirl. His is all swooshy. His is kind of a mess. His is all swoopy. Really spiraled on Goodman there. Or really circular. He spiraled, well, it's him, so... Yeah, it's Gumshoe. It's his locker. Of course his thumbprint's on it.
Aha! Please principal on to Detective Gumshoe. Something wrong, Mr. Wright? You gave me this so what look.
I guess that's probably because I was thinking, so what?
Okay, so we came up with nothing this time, but there's always next time. Sometimes you hit and sometimes you miss. You gotta roll with the punches, Mr. Wright.
Thanks for the sympathy. Wait, if I remember correctly, there was one other handprint in this room. Let's check it out. Okay, sure. Court record. Yeah, this one right here. This is where we got the luminol reaction fluid, right?
Right, there was a handprint here.
Oh,
Okay, wanna try using this?
there go our eye sparkles again. Let's check for prints.
That's a spirit. Oh, but I have to warn you about something first.
What?
The area with the blood was wiped away, right?
We only ended up finding it using chemical means.
Any prints in that area will have been wiped away, too.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Oh, right. So that means no prints.
Would you say the probability of your hypothesis is high?
Don't ask me.
Anyway, we must try and find prints that weren't wiped away.
It's other than the ones left by the bloody hands. Well... Oh, on the, on this thing, right? No? Okay. I'm mashing A to dust. I can't... It's not doing anything. I would have thought it was on the locker door, you know, right? Okay, I found one. Haha! I knew that was there. Where are the other two fingers? Well, they were wiped away. Maybe only some of his hand had blood on it. It's a bloody handprint, you see. Actually, it'd be more surprising if Gumshoe's prints weren't on his own locker. It's true. At least Gumshoe got that part right. Put prints on your own locker. Not yours. No. It's Marshall's. Huh. That's what you're looking for, the other two. Oh! I guess, yeah. Well, it's clearly Marshall's, so... Hey, these fingerprints there.
Whose are they? Whose? Is it someone I know?
It's Officer Marshall.
Huh? Officer Jake Marshall?
Marshall's fingerprints.
That's got to be a coincidence. He's not involved in the crime.
Emma. This is decidedly different from Gumshoe's prints. The luminol reaction. The blood and the fingerprints are in the same place.
Oh. Oh!
So we have Jake Marshall's fingerprints on a wiped blood stain.
But why would Officer Marshall...
Looks like our investigation is finally turning up some results. I guess this is what you'd call decisive evidence. Yeah!
I don't believe it.
To be continued. All right. Yay. Day 3, trial. All right. Hey, if we can get through this, I can finally get that fucking lunchbox achievement, I hope. Hope I haven't missed it. It's gonna be a pain playing this case again to get it.
What do you think, Mr. Wright?
I think the prosecution is as confused as we are. After all, the victim was murdered in 2 different places at the same time. And a different suspect was arrested at each of the crime scenes.
Lana!
Good morning, Mr. Wright. I apologize for yesterday. I was indisposed. I hope they didn't hold you too long for questioning. We just finished, actually. I'm used to all-nighters, though.
So, how'd it go?
How'd you get the lunchbox trophy? You need to get every single lunchbox Angel Star has to offer you, so every time she, like, hands you a unique lunchbox, I need to see every one of those scenes. It's as Mr. Wright suspected. The police are clueless. I figured as much, so I struck a plea bargain.
A plea bargain? What do you mean by that?
We agreed that if I told them the truth behind this simultaneous murder, they wouldn't seek capital punishment. That's what I mean, Emma.
But Lana, don't tell me you...
Much to my regret. I'm as much in the dark about this as they are. Miss Sky. Does it count over several playthroughs? I don't think so. I think, I would need to if I miss it, I need to restart this case and try again to get every single lunchbox. It's a good case, but it's as long as hell, and that achievement is tedious as hell. It's not tedious, it's just... It's so spread out. It's not like I can... There's nothing really to do, but just kind of hope that it follows through and then it pops when it's supposed to. It's cumbersome, is probably a better word. It's a cumbersome achievement. It's one of my more hated ones, where it's a collectible one that I just have to kind of hope and pray I don't miss anything. Because it would suck playing the game again. I did one in Deus Ex Human Revolution. That was a real pain in the ass. We found trace evidence of a certain person in the police department's evidence room. They belong to Officer Jake Marshall. What kind of trace evidence? Blood-stained fingerprints, to be exact. That's a trump card I have up my sleeve today. You do understand what this means, don't you?
In order to defend my sister, you're gonna accuse Mr. Marshall.
I'd love to accuse Meekins, so that you're not guilty. You can also look up the guide for it. There are plenty of those that would explain how to get the achievement in detail. And yeah, that's what I'm doing. I have a guide open over on my right, mainly for all achievements. It's not open right now, but I check whenever, stars on screen to see if there's a lunchbox I need to get. I don't get it again until Investigation Day 3. And that should be my last one. Do what you have to do, Mr. Wright. 10 a.m. Trial time. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. Defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is... I'm afraid you'll have to clarify. It takes 30 minutes by car to reach the police department from the prosecutor's office. Yet the victim, Bruce Goodman, was slain at both places at the same time. But that's not physically possible, is it? What's more, I hear the victim from the evidence room just disappeared. Meekins wouldn't harm a fly. Not out of compassion or morality, he's too incompetent to harm a fly. That's fair, I believe.
Yes, the body eventually reappeared in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car.
Wow, this is one messed up trial. One of my duties as prosecutor is to present impartial evidence. Today I'll present evidence related to the murder at the police department. In doing so, I believe the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself.
Now that's what sets Mr. Edgeworth apart. He sounds so on top of things, even though he doesn't know what's going on himself.
And that's supposed to be an admirable trait. Very well, let the trial resume. On the day of the crime, what exactly transpired at the police department? Mr. Edgeworth, you may call your first witness of the day to the stand. For its first witness, the prosecution calls a suspect to the murder that occurred at the police department. The suspect? You mean the so-called murderer? Oh boy. Things are getting wild from the get-go. Mike. Will the witness please state his name and occupation? Sir! I am Officer Mike Meekins, sir! My occupation is, That would be murderer, sir! So you're telling us you're a professional killer? Sir, it was me! I'm the one who did it! Hey, if I Just saying. If I, like, throw the case at this point, you know, my meter goes all the way down. Would the judge accuse Lana of doing it? Like, in light of this, he'd be like, no reason for misinterpretation of the facts. Lana Skye is guilty. Yes, he would. That's fucking stupid. When Phoenix does that, it's called pulling shit out of his ass or bluffing. When Miles does it, it's admirable. Obviously, yes, because Miles has style. Phoenix doesn't. I'll never kill anyone again, sir. You've got to believe me, sir. Actually, what we'd like to hear from you is, sir, I'm what you'd like to call a part of the younger generation, sir. He is pretty young. He's younger than me. A person whose actions adults couldn't possibly comprehend. Please, Mr. Edwards, sir. Help me, sir. Officer Meekins. Yes, sir. Give us your report of the crime. Consider that an order. Yes, sir. As you wish. After all, I am part of the generation that must be told what to do, sir.
You can't fault him for a lack of enthusiasm.
Although it is not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day, sir. I spotted a suspicious man on the security screens and rushed into the room. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. I fought for my life. Then, I did it. After that, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake. Wake up! I love your Meekins voice. Thank you. For lack of it, it's true. So the victim, Detective Goodman, attacked you. Do unto others before they do unto you. That's the Meekins family motto, sir. I see. Then you fainted, and a colleague helped you regain consciousness. Yes, sir. He knocked me upside the head, sir. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. What I need here is more info to work with. I really like the idea that if I fail this, like if I just present my attorney's badge over and over again, he's like, well, Phoenix, you failed to find holes in Meekins' testimony claiming he did it. I find Lana Skye guilty of murder. That would be insane. It's not my normal duty. I was assigned to guard the evidence. Mr. Meekins, you work in the General Affairs Department, do you not? Yes, sir. I'm in charge of hiring new recruits, sir! Yikes! Now there's a scary thought. Evidence transfer was taking place on the day of the crime, which meant many officers were given special tasks not ordinarily performed. I was in charge of guarding the Blue Badger, sir. The Blue Badger? You know what? I'm relieved and surprised the judge doesn't know what that is. Yes, sir. Of course he likes it. The lovely police mascot created by the Chief of Detectives, sir. Hate this thing. Hate this goddamn thing. If there's any emote that I might add to the chat that isn't, like, my own, might be a Blue Badger head. And just send Mike downriver. It's only a matter of time before he trips and sets a domino effect off that decapitates somebody. Probably himself. I was to ensure it wasn't broken during the transferal process. That was my sole mission for the day, sir. I see. Sounds like a very important mission. After the award ceremony finished that day, there were so many people running around that I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room. Oh, so that's why you went to the evidence room. Tell us, what did you see when you got there? He's in charge of hiring new recruits. That's why the police department is in such bad shape. Checks out. And yet, one prong is damaged, repaired with tape. That might have been Gumshoe's building process, to be fair. In order to enter the evidence room, you need an ID card, am I correct? Precisely, sir. I have one right here around my neck. So then, your ID number should be listed on here, right? There it is! I found
found it! It's this one right here! Could you please read us the number? Yes, sir. It's 4989569. That's my number, sir.
I see. Huh? But the number 4989596. A lot of nines in there. It's shown being used twice. Please explain, witness. Well, he put the badger in there, left, saw a guy, and came back.
It's no real mystery, sir. The first time is when I relocated the blue badger to the evidence room. And the second time is when I went to go get him after everything settled down. I see. So it was during that second time when... Yes, sir. That's when I spotted the man on the security screen.
Okay, good to know. Does this update with people's names? The, evidence sheet? Yeah, okay, so... Got 2 Meekins, a Goodman, and Edgeworth, and we still don't know who Sevens there is. Jiro! He probably decapitated himself with his own chin, because very Titanic-like catastrophe. Again with that big-ass chin of his. You're really fond of that particular analogy. Or that metaphor, or simile, or whatever. So you were attacked. Can you please tell us exactly what happened to you?
It was a knife, sir! A knife! Detective Goodman pulled a knife on you. What happened then? Well, with me charging in on him like that, you looked as surprised as I was.
Not exactly the kind of person someone would want to run into.
That's when I reacted, sir. I swung my arms like an octopus, struggling to detain him. That's how I got this gash on my hand.
Maybe if you just kept your cool, your hand wouldn't be...
When I saw the blood trickling down my arm, I panicked. I grabbed the man by his collar.
But for my life, then I did it. What do you mean by you did it?
I know I don't look like the type, but I'm really into kung fu films, sir. The man let his guard down for just an instant, so I snatched his knife from him.
You took his knife.
I spun him around and performed a disarming maneuver. I made sure to close my eyes like a man.
I, see. He must have been desperate. Well, his chin is big enough to be considered an iceberg or a lethal weapon of some kind, so why wouldn't I be? Fair enough, I suppose. I like the stop sign comparison, though, because it's very clearly, it's like beginning to form a hexagon. Stop signs are octagons, sure, but, you know, very hexagonal, that chin of his.
The next thing I knew, his white coat was drenched in a sea of my blood, and then, the next thing I knew...
Yes?
He punched me right in my face, sir!
Ah, you've disarmed my knife! As mess of a testimony was real, wouldn't that be self-defense? I mean, I guess, yeah. Passed out and another officer smacked me. About what time did you regain consciousness?
No offense, sir, but how am I supposed to know? I was unconscious.
Oh, right. There wasn't a clock? According to the report from the officer that woke up the witness, it was about 5:30.
He hit me right on the head, too. I woke up crying tears of pain! That's not... I mean, it's nice you recovered, that is. When I came around, though, I made sure to finish my mission, sir.
Your mission?
Yes, sir. The Blue Badger, sir. I returned him to the entrance before things got out of hand.
Technically, Meekins was the one who approached the man in the evidence room. If anything, the detective attacking Meekins isn't self-defense. Well, the detective pulled a knife on him, so Meekins, if he's telling the truth here, that's definitely self-defense. Well, we can all rest easy now.
I believe we now have a fairly accurate picture of what happened.
Yes, Your Honor. Only one thing remains unclear. Was the man this officer murdered really the victim? He's got a point.
Yes, Officer Meekins? With regard to that, sir. Take a look at this! It was sent to my jail cell. Chief Gant delivered it to me just this morning.
The chief? Delivered it?
What is that? A videotape? Yes, sir! That's absolutely right, sir! A videotape, sir. It contains footage from the security camera in the evidence room!
Objection!
What? But I specifically asked if there was such a tape, and was told it had been mistakenly erased.
That's quite a mistake. I just do what I'm told, sir. It's the only thing I'm really good at.
Looks like communication with the police department is as good as ever. Kinda with Edgeworth and Phoenix on this one. In a sturdy circus of legal system, it's still considered a regular murder. Yep, that's fair. If a 9-year-old accidentally setting off a gun while about to pass out from oxygen deprivation is considered a murder. Yep.
Well then, let's have a look. Show us the videotape of you murdering the victim. I hope everyone's real excited to watch this snuff film.
First time I've seen one outside of my dungeon. Please stop using the word murder, sir. It scares me. A videotape of a real murder. Just what are we getting ourselves into? Thus begins the most annoying trial in Ace Attorney. I love this trial. Oh boy. It's everyone's favorite friend. Wow, that awesome 3 frames a second by the Nintendo DS, am I right? Most annoying part, you mean? Oh, fuck off! There goes Mike. Our FNAF-based security system here. Oh, shit! Look at you! Mike, oh, that fucking flag! Fuck you! Fuck you, Blue Badger! I hate you! Animation quality. Yeah, all 5 frames of it. Son of a bitch. Hate this damn thing. That's fair. Oh shit, I know what you mean. The most annoying part of the trial comes a little later. I don't know. It was kind of annoying proving that the knife was fucking related. Edgeworth.
Well, I believe we're all thinking the same thing. How can we deal with these unsettling feelings stirred within us? What the hell was that wriggling piece of plywood?
Edgeworth with the rare swearing.
Sir, that was the pride and joy of the entire criminal defense department, sir. It's the Blue Badger, sir.
Why am I not surprised this isn't going smoothly? For once, Phoenix is 100% justified and totally on the side of the majority of people in court right now. Nothing that is happening right now is his fault, and it's so refreshing. Defendant slipped on a banana peel and fell down the stairs, knocked into a pile of papers, and tripped over and hit a rake. The rake flew into the air and killed someone. Arrest that man who slipped for murder. Well, clearly, I mean, the rake was right there. It'd be far more likely that the rake flew through the air, cut the rope of a safe that was being lifted up by some construction workers. It fell, hit a seesaw, launched a custard pie into the air, which smacked into the face of a man walking past who dropped his marbles all over the street, prompting yet another man to slip into the street and be hit by the car, so we arrest the man who built the seesaw for murder. That's probably how that would go.
Yes, well, anyway. This tape seems to prove that the witness did indeed encounter someone in the evidence room, and some sort of activity did take place. Your Honor, instead of relying on clearly incompetent footage, the witness's testimony will suffice. Is that all right with you, Officer Meekins? Yes, sir. As you wish, sir.
I know he's trying to pass that line for comedic line, but I wouldn't be surprised at ever if morons pass guilty verdict by that reasoning.
His face can't be clearly seen in the video, but there's no question the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I mean, he opened the locker, which requires Detective Goodman's fingerprints to do it. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it. What's this about a fingerprint?
Each detective has been given a locker equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock. These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to.
Intriguing. That would mean the victim at the crime scene would have had to have been Detective Goodman. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination.
I don't know where this cross-examination will lead, but everything begins with contradictions. That's where I have to start. Alright, so first thing I should look at is, was the locker already opened before our mystery man went there? which means I should review the security tape. I can't speed this up, or... okay. Yeah, the light's already on. It's open already. Alright, well that was easy. Time to review the tape. Yeah, there it is. Are we still defending Lana? Yeah, we are. It's still the same case, 7-9. Like I said, this is probably the longest single case in any of the games. His face can't be clearly seen in the video. That said, I'll press him on everything. Tell me, were you able to get a good look at him? At the face of the man who attacked you with a knife?
Sir, if you must label people as having seen or not seen that man's face, I believe I would be classified as the latter.
The latter? But you were standing right in front of him, were you not?
More to the point, you are the person who fought him, are you not?
Oh yes,
But, I didn't get a clear look at his face, sir. I'm not the kind of guy who looks directly at people when they're talking with them, you see.
yeah, that's a good trait for a police officer.
Still, I am sure it was him. I'd bet my badge on it.
There's no question the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. But you don't know that for sure, do you? You never actually saw Goodman's face.
Well, I suppose you might say that. That is, if you must label people as having seen or not seen it. Since his face can't be identified in the video, only you can verify it. Why is everyone looking at me? If I had to label your stares as disturbing, or...
Meekins! Having been shown a questionable video at best, we are not in the best of moods. Now please be more certain when you testify. It's so nice having somebody even more incompetent than Phoenix on the stand, because it means I can get angry at the witness instead of Phoenix being like, what do I do? Phoenix, have you forgotten? Of course he didn't see his face. He closed his eyes like a man. Well, naturally. To be honest, final case of trials and tribulations is a runner-up for longest case as well. Ah, fair enough. Written Meekins badge. You claim the man who brandished the knife on you was Bruce Goodman. Tell us, why are you positive it was him? You open the locker, which requires Detective Goodman's fingerprints to do it. About these lockers, is there no other way to open them?
No, sir. I myself tried all kinds of methods in the past. They only respond to registered fingerprints, sir.
I wonder what kind of methods he's tried.
If the man opens the lockers... Excuse me. If a man opened the locker's lock, which only responds to registered fingerprints, then he must be the person the locker who was assigned to. Exactly my point, sir! And this too. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir.
How do you know that information?
I've heard rumors, sir, from people in the know, sir.
People in the know.
The workers in the department's cafeteria. They keep me informed. They also listen to my romantic troubles, sir.
Ah, boy. For the record, the open locker did indeed belong to Detective Goodman. I verified this information through a more reliable source.
The victim opened the locker with his own fingerprint.
So it must have been him, no one else could have unlocked it. However, the most important detail is not shown in this video. The man's face.
Sir! If I may say something, sir. Please do. After all, you are the one being examined. I do not understand why the man's face is so important. I mean, it was his hand that opened the fingerprint lock. And it was his hand that tried to thrust the knife into my body, sir! My unsettled state can testify enough to this, sir. Yes, you have a point. The footage doesn't lie.
That is... unless the defense can find a problem with it.
Mr. Wright, let's check the court record again.
Is there a problem with the security video? Yeah, there's a problem. Regarding the video contained on this tape, there's one thing in particular that seems rather strange.
Strange?
This contradiction leads to the possibility that the man may not have been Detective Goodman.
What? The video contains such a contradiction?
What if they worked at the chemical plant previously? Damn, I don't have an answer for that. You know what, 7-9? It's a really good point. Not to rain on the parade, that's a fun game. It's getting DLC. Why in the hell are fingerprints the only way to open these lockers? I mean, there's no way in hell, in case of emergency, some kind of PD didn't have some other way to open them. There may be like a master switch that unlocks them all. But, I mean, what sort of emergency would require them to open a bunch of evidence lockers, is the question. There's definitely got to be a way to reset them, because in the case of Bruce Goodman, he's dead, so they have to have a way to reset his locker, purely so that they don't need his fingerprint to open it. Yeah, like if they lost their fingerprints at a chemical plant. Exactly! Bruce Goodman's dead. Regarding the chemical plant scenario, he's not gonna get up and open his damn locker. You've got to have a way to reset that. Interesting! Your Honor, I have a proposal.
Yes, Mr. Edgeworth?
I propose we have the defense point out to us this alleged contradiction in the video. He would want me to point it out. I think everyone would.
Very well. Proposal accepted. Let us further inspect this piece of evidence. I will now play the security tape. Mr. Wright, please show us the contradiction you speak of.
I have to point out a problem in the video? This is the first time I've ever had to do that.
You can do it, Mr. Wright. I'll set it. It'll set up. It's set up so you can fast forward, rewind, or pause the video. Just take a good look and be sure to point out the right thing.
Please don't play it too many times. I can't stand watching the video.
How did this guy ever become a police officer?
Now then, Mr. Wright, please enlighten us. Where is the contradiction that indicates the man may not be Detective Goodman?
Rewind, pause, fast forward. Okay. Ha-ha! It's gonna be right here. Nah, they just have detective based, purely on the fact, the most similar fingerprint possible. they would, well, looks like you've got a criminal record of a couple murders here, but who in this town doesn't really? And, frankly, you said in your interview that you would steal from the department given any sort of chance, but goddammit, your fingerprints are a near match for that Goodman, enough to fool our system, so, that locker's taking up empty space otherwise, so welcome aboard! I know it's still unique, but do they know that? Yeah, well, there you go. During some case leading, detective died and important evidence was locked to the detective fingerprints locker. There's no way PD didn't have any means of opening the locker. They might have a way of resetting the fingerprint lock. However, given Goodman was still alive and it's not like, you know, there was a big emergency like what you're describing happening at the time, it makes sense that there was no way this could have been opened other than him. Fact of the matter is, it's already opened. As you can see right here. The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this, Officer Meekins.
Sir, do you mean me, sir?
As I understand it, the locker's apparatus works like this. When you grab the handle, a sensor reads your fingerprint. If it's a match, the light turns on and the lock is released.
According to my very limited experience, that's the way I understand it, sir.
If so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture. Other than the blue badger, entirely. That you put right in front of the goddamn camera, you stupid idiot. There goes our mystery man. Blue badger. I'm considering a blue badger emote. Well, true, I suppose. Though my point is, there's no way, there's only one way to open these lockers. Yeah, no, correct. Fucking thing. When the victim reaches for the handle to open the locker, let's rewind to a little earlier. I can't have animated emotes because I'm only an affiliate, not a partner. But if I ever do make partner, I'll throw an animated blue badger emote in. Hate this song, too. Here! Notice the light?
What's this? It's already lit?
My point and yours don't contradict each other. Yeah, true. Precisely my point, Your Honor. The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle.
Ah! Order, order! What's the meaning of this?
It's very simple, Your Honor. The locker wasn't locked on the day of the crime. But the locker locks are controlled by an electronic system. When a door is shut, a sensor is triggered, and the locker is automatically locked.
Oh, I know! It must have broken down. Of course, I'm not an expert in this.
That's not likely, Your Honor. The sensor would detect and report any malfunction.
Oh well, just goes to show, novices should keep their mouths shut.
Looking at Meekins.
So then, Mr. Wright, do you have an explanation?
Me, Your Honor?
Yes. Why wasn't the locker locked?
Me, Your Honor? Yes. Well, you see, this isn't exactly my field. What do you think, Miss Scientific Investigator?
Huh? Oh, maybe something like jam the system's sensors?
Something jam the sensors, say. There's something else that seems out of place in this video.
Yeah, I thought so too. There's got to be another clue somewhere in this footage.
A glove fell from the locker.
Very well. Let's inspect the video once more. The locker wasn't locked. Mr. Wright, please.
Okay. Hate this song. Wow, it's actually a decent frame rate when you fast forward it. Oh, wait, shit. What? Shit. Shit. Thought that was the pause button. Alright, that one's on me. That's on me. My bad. Okay, didn't take any penalty for that. Good stuff. For God's sakes.
Son of a...
There we go. The glove, thank you. Kept trying to catch the glove. Please watch closely. This is the continuation of a part I showed you earlier. Okay, the music's not playing. We could have started a little after this, right? You know, like, right about here. There you go, yep.
What's this? Something white fell out of the locker. But, sir, it's been my experience that things fall out of doors when doors are opened. I often fall out and roll great distances when I open my car door, sir.
We can't be sure that item was completely inside the locker to begin with.
What do you mean?
The sensor that triggers the lock when this door is shut. Why? Yeah. Music is, not great. What if something was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door?
Inserted?
Just start a little bit later there, Phoenix. We don't need to see him walk up every time. This white thing isn't inside the locker. It's stuck between the door and the sensor.
Oh, I understand now, sir. It's just like my tie. 2 out of 3 times get stuck in the door when I get out of my patrol vehicle, sir.
It's appealing to my ears. That, yep. Fall out and roll great distances when I open my car door. I like... So, he opens his car door, his tie gets stuck, and then he falls and rolls a great distance.
Instead of the door closing, my tie chokes me, but the object would have had extremely thin to fit in the door.
Not only that, it would also have to block electrical currents. It would need to be an insulator. I mean, like, oh, I don't know. This thin rubber glove that I found at the scene that was in the locker. Wouldn't be surprised if he did.
Yes, an insulator, but at the crime scene.
There just might have been something that fits the description.
But sir, by insulator, you don't mean?
I think I finally got this figured out. Why, the music is subpar at best. DL6! It's not DL6. That was a very clearly... That said SL9. That clearly said SL9. It's great distance it gets me. Imagine Benny Hill type of scene of him just rolling for 5 minutes. He should stop parking at the top of hills. I agree.
Very well. Will the defense please present the relevant evidence? What was this insulator that was stuck in the locker door?
I found this near the locker. Fortunately, there was a detective there to verify it, by the way. Gumshoe can back up that baseless claim. A thin rubber glove.
But we can't be sure that was the victim's locker.
It has a tag that says SL9 incident. The video seems to depict a victim opening the locker. But that isn't the case. This lit lamp attests to this. On the day of the crime, even I could have opened that locker. Is this not so, Officer Meekins?
Sir, It would appear so, sir! Order, order, order. So are we to believe then that the victim, whom this witness stabbed in the evidence room, was not Detective Goodman?
Do not be misled, Your Honor.
What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth?
Offenses merely demonstrate the possibility and nothing more. The victim in the video was indeed Bruce Goodman. Prosecutor will, of course, offer one more testimony to prove it.
What?
Officer Meekins, please testify about this.
Sir? Me, sir? I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir. Oh! You mean that, sir? Of course, sir.
Is this a joke?
Very well, begin your testimony.
Maybe stop wearing ties? Did you ever think of that, Meekins?
There was one other thing that proves that man was Detective Goodman, sir. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card.
An ID card record. I see. I have the ID card record right here, Your Honor. The ID card used at 5:14 is that of the victim.
Just before the crime? Yes, without a doubt. This is the victim's ID. However, one thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due for transferal. Why were there only so few people using this evidence room?
This particular evidence room is only used for storing certain special cases. Special cases? Extremely violent cases involving police staff. It's weird that there's a room dedicated to that.
Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end.
Yeah, that's weird. Me too, although it doesn't make much of a difference. There are only a few cases up for transfer there, and most were cleared up by noon.
Right, I see. Now, let us move on to the cross-examination.
Edgeworth is on the record. He's the one who stabbed Meekins! If you'll notice 7-9 there, Edgeworth was in there well before Meekins ever went in, and well before the time of the crime. Anyway. So unlike your earlier testimony, you believe this to be rock solid, do you?
Yes, sir. Solid as stone, sir. My hands were wrapped in bandages. I'd even give you the V for victory sign, sir.
Can he just use his right hand for that?
Let's hear him out fully. As we've seen, one never knows what he might say until the very last second.
In the evidence room, one must use the ID card. Is that card hanging around your neck one of those ID cards?
Yes, sir. The card's right next to my cuffs, sir.
I keep it here so I won't ever forget it. But what if someone were to steal it from you, keeping it out in the open like that? Maybe I shouldn't wear it around my neck. Remember when I said 2 out of 3 times my tie gets stuck in my car? Well, the remaining time it's my ID card that gets stuck. And then you roll down a hill, because you insist on parking at the top of them. I like the voice for Meekins. Thank you. That's more than one person who's pointed that out. Judge, not something you want to be admitting to in court.
Instead of the door closing, my ID card chokes me.
Maybe I should just leave this one alone. At any rate, each police officer has only one ID card. Both the police department and the prosecutor's office can attest to this.
Please proceed with your testimony.
An ID card was used, there's a record of it. Let it be noted that this is a record of the witness referring to.
Let me see. Yes, that would be it. Detective Goodman.
What's the matter?
According to this, Mr. Edgeworth, your name is on here.
So it is, Your Honor. Not that prosecutor again. Hey, maybe he's behind all this. Being a prosecutor, he can hide evidence. Mommy, is that man in blue a murderer? Shh, don't stare at him. You've got the wrong color, kid. Why do we let people in here? They only serve to annoy everyone. Get this public out of here. DL6. Shut up, 7-9. You're worse than the audience. These people have no shame admitting such things in court in front of people.
Ah, it would seem. The inquiry committee will want to speak with you again today.
I have nothing to be ashamed of regarding my actions or their consequences. For now, you could just mention to me... You told me why you did it. You could just mention to the judge what's up with that. For now, let us continue with the cross-examination.
Poor Mr. Edgeworth. It must be so difficult for him.
At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. Earlier, I believe you testified that when you asked the man to show his ID card, he pulled a knife on you.
Yes, sir! He didn't show me any ID card, sir.
Don't you think that's odd? I mean, if he had his ID card, all he had to do was show it to you. There wouldn't be any reason to draw a knife.
Maybe he just panicked.
Everything stems from contradictions. Let's point them out.
Mr. Wright, what do you think?
I'm confused.
What?
The problem with this ID card testimony so far is too obvious. It's not like Edgeworth to miss something like this.
You're thinking too hard about it. Come on now, let's show them what we got.
Wasn't the ID card found at the murder scene is the problem? What does it say? Found at crime scene. Yeah. Yeah. Detective Goodman must use their evidence card. There's a record of it. And the crime detective had used his card. Yeah, about that. Wait one moment, Officer Meekins.
I'm not good at waiting, sir.
Ahem. I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene.
That makes sense.
When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I mean the other crime scene. The underground parking lot of the prosecutor's office! Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. A very important clue regarding the victim's ID card. Oh, the lost slip. He might have been reporting his ID card. 7-9.
A lost item report? It's only half complete.
But it shows Detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report. Let me guess, you believe this something to be his ID card, right? I can't say for sure, but there is a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card.
Order, order! So now, what does this all mean?
It can only mean one thing. It doesn't even require much thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card. Kanochi Penguin, what's up? Yeah, if I found a piece of evidence, it's half an hour's drive from the evidence room, it's clear that there is some problem with the same card being in two different places at the same time. Quite, yes.
Order, order! Does the prosecution have a response?
I have only one thing to say to the defense. Shut up, you bitch. Bravo, Mr. Wright. Oh. Bravo. Allow me to summarize the defense's argument. At 5:15 on the day of the crime, the man in the evidence room Officer Meekins encountered was not Detective Goodman. There are two grounds to support this. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright? Yes. What's he up to? That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. If the victim in this video is fake, then the murder in the evidence room is also fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of the murder. That is... Well, I guess that's right. Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Only moments ago you seemed content to be pointing your finger around. This isn't going to end well. Well, well, it seems you finally realized exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove.
Explain yourself, Mr. Edgeworth.
The defense has already done the explaining for me. The victim in this video is a fake, which means a murder did not take place at the police department at 5:15 on the day of the crime.
So
the real crime can only take place at one location, the underground parking lot, at the prosecutor's office, and the murderer being Miss Lana Skye, the defendant. Oh shit, if only we had thought of throwing Meekins under the bus. and proving it wasn't Lana. And then when Meekins' trial came around, we prove it was Lana. And therefore couldn't have been Meekins. Double jeopardy, everyone goes home happy. Phoenix, you walked right into Miles' trap. It was pretty fucking obvious. Doesn't that make him Goodman because he's the one without the ID card? Shut up, you. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness. Observe the moment the defendant used the murder weapon. Ah! Yep, Phoenix just proved his client totally could have committed the murder, when there was really a great opportunity to prove it couldn't have been her. I know that testimony was way too shabby. It was all a trap from the beginning.
The activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered.
I like that Edgeworth planned ahead for, Phoenix is so dead set on proving witnesses wrong, he won't stop and think, wait, maybe I don't want this one to be wrong because it would mean Lana is innocent. He'll just prove Meekins is an idiot and we can go back to prosecuting his witness. The buffoon! I've cracked this one wide open. I'm a bastard of logical reasoning.
Where did this person disappear to? However, this trial's purpose is to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman.
Just so, Your Honor.
Mr. Wright, you have to do something, or else Lana...
What do I do? How am I supposed to get myself out of this mess? I object!
Objection!
One moment, Your Honor. What now, Mr. Wright? Don't tell me you're objecting to what you've just proven. Of course not. But I almost walked right into the prosecution's trap. What are you talking about? This cross-examination has proven one thing and one thing only. The security video did not show the actual murder. Oh, we're watching the whole thing, huh? Okay, alright. Yep. However, it cannot be said that it is unrelated to the murder of the parking lot. I mean, I'm inclined to agree. Specifically, large amounts of blood traces were found in the evidence room. The defense demands further examination into the truth of this matter.
Mr. Edgeworth,
Yes, Your Honor?
if this court will examine this further, other witnesses will be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. The prosecution considers the incident at the police department to be unrelated. We have not prepared any other witnesses for this incident. This just might be my chance. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand. My God, Chuck Norris! Of course, Phoenix, you fool. If you only stopped for a second and thought, you could have easily realized it was a trap.
Mr. Wright, do you mean...
Your Honor! The defense would like to request a specific witness.
Oh? Whom do you have in mind?
Someone we have reason to believe knows the truth. The truth behind the activities that we took place in the evidence room. Prosecution requests to hear this person's name before deciding whether or not to comply.
Very well then, Mr. Wright. This person whom you would have testify. What is his or her name?
Detective Gumshit. No, it's Marshall. Emma Sky. Officer Jake Marshall. Why him? I can't let Edgeworth know everything just yet. He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel we should hear what he has to say. Prosecution agrees to the defense's request. Since he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear his testimony. Fortunately, he works in the police department. We shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare.
Very well. Court will take a 30-minute recess while the witness is subpoenaed. Will the prosecution please prepare the witness during this time?
We will, Your Honor.
Court is now in recess. Whee! The slide. I so love monkey bars.
February 24th. Okay. There's no stopping you, is there, Mr. Wright? Huh? What do you mean? You called for Jake Marshall. It seems you figured everything out. I haven't figured anything out. Lana.
You're the one who knows everything.
Emma.
You always know everything. Why don't you just tell us? Mr. Wright is trying his hardest to protect you.
I don't recall ever asking for his protection.
How can you be so cold? Don't you trust us? Don't you trust me?
Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals.
No, Detective Gumshoe, just, you know, a real emotional character moment or anything.
Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. God damn it, Gumshoe.
Wait! Gumshoe, what is it? The moment's passed.
You got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run around while on duty. And on top of it, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals.
Sorry, Detective.
You better be, pal. Hey! 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 I didn't see you there, Chief Prosecutor Sky.
That's okay. So, you brought what I asked.
Oh! Oh ho! Ho 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 ho! You mean this, White?
My apologies, Detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my request.
My name? Never mind. Never in a million years would I have thought it was you who asked me. Could I bother you to bring me the SL9 incident files? I'll need them by noon. Talk about Quasi.
The SL9 incident? Finally, I can read up on that thing. Bit unrelated, but playing Ace Attorney games, I learned some legal terms. Oh, good on you. Like subpoena, you mean?
Atlanta, that's...
I thought Mr. Wright might need them, so I had them brought here. Here, you might do well to read them.
I can't believe you, the chief prosecutor, were a witness in that case.
Miss Sky was a witness? Alright, let's get a look at that.
Take it from me, you don't want anything to do with serial murders.
Yeah, probably not. Thanks, I'll keep that in mind. Perpetrator, Joe Dark. Crime, serial murder, sentence, death. Victims, Edward Jones, Jason Knight, Edith Kirby, Rachel Moss, Jeb Bates, and
Neil Marshall! What?
Any... You wanna... Head Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth, witness Lana and Emma Sky. Emma was a witness here. Executive investigators, Damon Gant and Lana Sky. Head investigator, Bruce Goodman. Investigators, Jake Marshall and Angel Starr. It's not a big file, is it?
Emma knows about SL9.
TL6. Yeah, I mean English legal terms like affidavit and subpoena.
Ah,
Fair enough, yeah. I suppose, yes, they would not be called that over in Georgia.
oh what? Now that I've bought you stuff, you're just gonna ignore me?
Emma, but why? Why is your name in here? I like that the game knows I immediately went to look at that.
What? My name's in there? I don't know. Unless... No, it couldn't be. Lana, SL9 incident. Is that...
That's the classification number the police filed it under. 2 years ago. The rest of the world knew it as the Joe Dark killings.
The Joe Dark. No. No, Lana. That's over with. No!
Emma, wait! She ran away. That's TL6.
You know what? I just remembered. I gotta be somewhere. Sorry, pal, I'm out of here.
God damn it, Gumshoe. Jake Marshall, Angel Starr, Damon Gant, Miles Edgeworth. It's everyone we just met. Not to mention Lana and Emma. It's literally every new character. Everyone involved in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago. This can't be just a coincidence. Knowing you, you just might be able to figure it out. Time to get back into the trial, Mr. Wright. Best of luck. I better take a good look at this file.
Yeah, I did. Fucking wild, this file.
Oh my god, we're still not done with day 3 trial. This is just day 3 pre-trial. Right? Trial former. Yeah, this is day 3. The trial can't continue past this. So are we gonna... There's another investigation for this stupid fucking lunchbox, and then we come back to court again? Oh, no, wait. Day 1 wasn't a trial. This is just day 3 of the case. This is only day 2 of the trial. Right. Okay. Ugh. There's totally gonna be a day 4.
Court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Sky.
Emma didn't come back. Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. The officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime. And he's drunk again. Okay, well. Witness, state your name and occupation.
Me, partner? Oh, I'm just a man, same as you. Wandering the trials of civilization.
Occasionally helping elderlies cross intersections when needed. Yes, we get it.
Oh, I know! You're a patrolman!
As for my name, if you listen hard enough, you can hear it. Wind howling it. Howling wind, calling it out. To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor. Howling wind? I've never heard Edgeworth described that way before. Now, it's not a bad joke. Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day the crime took place. Is this correct? According to the papers, partner. What do you mean? A desperado's soul is as boundless as the desert sands. No paper can sum it up. Maybe it's best we get on with this quickly. Please share with us your testimony the day of the crime. In plain old English. What? We have terms and stuff like that, but they're different words in Georgia, I would imagine. What do you mean, what there, Kanochi? My job is to keep a weary eye on that bone orchard. What the fuck is a bone orchard? What? Excuse me? Other than the horniest place you'll ever find apple farmers, what is a bone orchard? They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day. That ain't my style. Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was street side saloon at the time it went down. You're the worst cop. You make Gumshoe and Meekins look professional. Because you just don't show up at work and go out drinking. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail. I can't say I particularly care for your attitude. Can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. That man is a judge. Wait a minute. What do you mean by 2 security systems? I mean the security cameras and the ID card reader. I reckon every cowpoke even a cowpoke like you knows about those. How has this guy not been fired? This guy, yeah, I mean, really. He's been demoted, sure, big shock. But, it's like, come on, man, do your fucking job. Yes, well, what about the fingerprint-activated locks in the evidence locker? Fingerprint-activated locks? What kind of newfangled doohickeys are those? He's not being helpful. He's not good with machines or following orders. Everyone's got their weaknesses now, don't they, Mr. Prosecutor? This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright, he's all yours. Alright, well, let's get on with, what the fuck's a bone orchard? Nope, not the question. Not the question, Phoenix. How exactly did you keep an eye on the evidence room? I just made sure nothing moved in the security camera monitor. That room's so still. Even time dies in there. I'm just a caretaker who interned the recordings. You interned them. Videos of nothing aren't that useful. When time would come, I'd erase the tape. If nothing unusual is recorded, tapes are erased every 6 hours. Each time I erased tape, it felt like I was erasing part of my life. This guy has a flair for the dramatic, but it isn't going to do him any good. So in actuality, you didn't physically enter the evidence room. We're just fine with whatever the fuck a bone orchard is. And the game seems to have no problem not explaining that. But you made your rounds on the day of the crime, right? Hey, you heard a word I said, partner. I told you that ain't my style. I'm afraid I don't understand. No desperado I know lets rules get in his way. No desperado I know would join the police force. So, Officer Marshall, on the day of the crime, just between you and me, I didn't set foot in the evidence room that day. There was a rubber glove stuck in the victim's locker. Do you know anything about that? Sorry, partner, can't say I do. I haven't been in the crypt in weeks. How does this guy avoid being fired? He is PD's equivalent of a town drunkard with this dramatic and Wild West. Yeah, fair enough. Thinking himself a sheriff when he's really just a bum. You used to be a detective, so you've used the evidence room in the past, correct? Of course. Back in the day, my locker was a gold mine of evidence. And yet, you didn't know about the fingerprint locking mechanism. Sorry, partner, I ain't good with machines. Couldn't even tell you how a bike works. That's quite, incredible. Yeah, with Phoenix on that one. The sensors on the locker handles cannot be seen. It's well known that some detectives are unaware of their presence. Now that he mentions it, Detective Gumshoe said something like that too. It's weird that Gumshoe knows and some of them don't. At any rate, it doesn't seem like this is relevant to the crime. Can you tell us what you were doing when the crime took place?
I remember right, I was at a street side saloon at the time it went down.
What were you doing in a place like that?
I was eating spaghetti.
What? Spaghetti Western.
Not even Angel's steak lunches beat that parlor Vongole's sepia pasta. Do you mean to tell us you abandoned your police duties to eat some noodles? Not all desperados eat tacos, partner. That's not what I meant. I hope that this has at least taught you a lesson.
That's strange. This is usually where Edgeworth says,
Did you not want to raise this here?
just an innocent traveling man. If you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail. Out of ammo, Officer Marshall?
That's right, partner.
Or as you'd call it, evidence. If you plan to pin me to this crime, then you better draw. Otherwise, you're just wasting my time. My steel horse is waiting to carry me back west to the sunset.
One thing seems to be clear. Despite being responsible for guarding the evidence room, the witness doesn't appear to have seen anything.
Texans don't take orders from anyone. Everyone knows that. Apparently your superiors don't. Okay, I have a trump card up my sleeve, so I better keep it cool. Before I use it, though, I better up the ante. Well, I've said everything, so, where are they? Style. Room's protected, if I remember right. Which one do I present it to? Inside saloon, the time it went down. It's really like, it's when he says he ain't been there in weeks, right? Do I double press him on this? Around that day, style. I wish he'd add this to his testimony, like that he hadn't been there in ages. Didn't set foot. Yeah, that. I wish he'd add that to his testimony. So, do I present the bloody handprint here? Yeah, that's Marshall's. I mean, I lost your job. I'm with the judge. What cop of yeah, no, he's a crap out. Makes Gumshoe look like promotion. You know, if this is the kind of patrolman they have to work with, it makes sense that Gumshoe's a detective. It's like, oh, what do the cops look like? Meekins and this guy. Yeah, alright, Gumshoe's detective material. Give that man a badge. Wrong statement. Cool. Your Honor, statement contradicts. Alright, well, it's one of these statements. Not my style. Two security systems. This one? Okay, it's that one. Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd? That is, you being called to testify like this. After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime.
And yet you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner.
It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene, or to be exact, a handprint.
Huh, listen real good, partner. Like I said, I'm caretaker of that crypt. I pay my respects. That is, make my rounds about once a month. It's only natural my fingerprints will be in there.
I only wish it were, officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood!
Witness! What is the meaning of this? Your blood-stained fingerprints were at the crime scene?
The blood was wiped away, however. A luminol test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall?
It seems to me there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders.
I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall?
About the blood-stained fingerprints? Very well. You may begin your testimony about your fingerprints, found at the scene of the crime.
Please do.
Like I said, it's only natural my fingerprints will be in that evidence room. One of them just happened to be in the same...
Really? That's... okay.
Murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. Bloodstain and the fingerprints are completely unrelated. Or did you know the murderer was wearing gloves?
How do you know that?
See, I had nothing to do with it. Witness's explanation appears valid.
Really?
Although there's room for doubt. Life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner. Well, that's true. The defense may now cross-examine the witness.
This guy's hiding something. I can feel it. Now's my chance to prove it. That's a terrible fucking excuse. Alright. That's because you, how did you put it, pay your respects once a month?
Yeah, that's right. That and one more thing. That locker happens to be mine. What? What do you mean? I mean what I said. That locker I used when I was a detective, that's the locker I still use. All that's in there now, though, is a heap of broken dreams.
I see.
It'd be strange if my prints weren't all over that locker.
Apparently his fingerprint data was never removed from that locker's programming. Why? He must have been using Fingerprint Locker all this time without ever even knowing it. His fingerprints updated in the court record. They just happened to be the same place as I placed my handprint. So then, what about the bloody handprint?
Wasn't mine. It's no mystery. Please explain. The locker's covered with my fingerprints. It just so happens.
Yep, okay. The chances of that happening are 1,000,000 to 1.
On the contrary, one could argue just the opposite. The chances of that not happening are 1,000,000 to 1.
No, that's not it at all.
Get one thing straight, partner. You ain't getting no reward from me with a mere fingerprint. You wanna know why?
I'm staying completely unrelated.
Unrelated? They're just as different as night and day. Kinda like cereal and cereal. One's got to do with breakfast while the other's type of murder. He's right, although seemingly alike, they're totally different.
I don't see what homonyms have to do with this. It's true. You know the murderer was wearing gloves. How do you know that?
I may be a loner, but I do my job. I keep up all the reports.
And there was a blood stain at the scene thought to be left by the murderer. That's right. It was found on Detective Gumshoe's locker. However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint. Oh yeah, I think we tried that too.
So that would mean the murderer wearing gloves happened to place their hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprints. That's the only logical conclusion. Are you starting to get the picture, partner?
The picture?
This seal of blood in the desert, it's just food for the buzzards. There's only one reality, and that is this.
Security tape.
As long as my trail isn't in there, you can't say otherwise.
Well, I mean, there is that fucking thing with the locker, isn't it? Something sticking out of your locker.
This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now then, continue your testimony, Officer Marshall.
Get Yanni Yogi back in here. God damn it. So, here's what I think happened. Where's the tape? There it is. Alright, I'll show you at the beginning. If you look over at his locker, on the far left, there's nothing sticking out of it. There is at the end of the tape, and there is when we were there the other day. Too bad it wasn't me in that video, right, partner? What do you mean by that?
You want to tie this crime? Isn't that right? Tie me to this crime. If so, that video is the only direct evidence you have.
But that video's next to useless. It's full of blind spots.
Blind spots?
Places you can't see. Or dead angles. If you're, I'm told blind spot is somewhat ableist.
Ahem. Camera's panning back and forth. The floor isn't shown.
But hey, that's what they said. Point that one out then. I will. The camera is familiar. If someone's familiar with the camera's position, they can leave the room without being caught.
We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright. Well, Mr. Wright, if you can show us evidence the video indicates Officer Marshall was present, please do so now.
Sure can. Very well. Allow me to point to your mistake, Officer Marshall. Tread carefully, Mr. Wright, or you might wind up being the one making the mistake.
Now, then, let's have another look at the video. Show us the incriminating evidence of the witness.
Alright, let's fast forward here. Give it an actually smooth frame rate. Regarding this badger, are people going in front of it, or is it like right in front of the camera? Because because I don't actually know what this badger's, like, there we go. I don't know what the badger's position is, because it's kind of big. Is it, like, camera, badger, and then lockers are over here? Or is it more like lockers, badger, and then the camera's back here? Because I have no idea where this thing is placed, distance-wise. Bringing our attention back to the security camera is a mistake I'm afraid you'll not soon forget, Officer Marshall. That will be revealed soon enough. Ah, okay, good to know.
The days are short in Texas, and so are our tempers.
You're from West LA.
Could you sum up what else?
What you would have to say in 8 words or less? Very well. You can clearly be seen in this video! Fair enough, yeah.
Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner.
The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video.
That locker with the white cloth sticking out. That was the witnesses, I believe.
Now then, let's rewind the video a bit. Maybe a little faster there, Phoenix. Just, you know, hair faster. Just a wee bit. Okay, alright.
There we go. Oh, the white cloth. It's gone. What's the meaning of this, Officer Marshall?
When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away.
Order, order! It would seem that the only... Hold your horses. Sorry, partner, but you got the wrong man.
What?
So what if my locker was opened? That doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it.
Judge, do I even really need to?
Thank you. The murderer needed to hide something, so he opened the locker and stuck it in. It's not my fault he happened to choose mine. Why is everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man?
He's dumb as hell, so roll with it for now. This guy isn't just playing dumb. You and Phoenix are. He really doesn't know. I hate to rain on your parade, but you're the only person who can open that particular locker.
Oh yeah? I call your bluff. You say I opened the locker. Now prove it!
Really? Only, yeah, there. Only the assigned.
Fingerprint sensor.
We talked about this earlier today. The locker can only be opened by detectives they belong to.
What kind of crazy talk is this?
Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this.
In any case, the locks aren't obvious. There are even some people on the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks.
So, Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less? Eating jerky?
I only got one word for you, partner.
No! Okay, then. I like that emote. Oops.
Order, order! Witness, explain yourself. If this is a joke, it's the worst I've ever heard.
I assure you, this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime.
Ole, please answer the question.
What? Olay?
What is he now, a bullfighter?
That's alright, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure out the rest from here.
We can?
Have a look at the floor plans. There's no place for someone to hide evidence in this room. Yet Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall.
If that's so, then where was the witness?
It seems Mr. Wright has an answer. That's right. There's only one possible conclusion.
Well then, let's hear it. Where was Officer Marshall at the time of the crime?
Officer Marshall was standing right here! Yeah, right? Kinocho has very good emotes. Not sure where he gets them, though. I think they're from other streamers.
There! But that's where Detective Goodman was!
Correct. Unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in the video is Officer Marshall. It was you, dressed up like Detective Goodman. But that's preposterous. Officer Meekins witnessed the crime scene. Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure. May I point out that Officer Meekins is a goddamn idiot? He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted.
When I entered the evidence room, I asked him to show his card, sir.
Yes, and how did Detective Goodman respond?
He suddenly pulled a knife on me!
Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man had his ID card, why didn't he just show it?
Yes, that would have been needed to enter the evidence room, so he must have been carrying it.
The answer is simple. He couldn't show it. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card.
Oh, I get it.
If he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekins would have realized the man was not Detective Goodman. Some are from Pride Month. Hey, good stuff. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall?
You've got quite an imagination, partner.
We got a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence? He's still denying it.
You're gonna have to do better than that to break a detective. Unless you have hard evidence proving I dressed up as the victim. I can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition. I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence proving beyond a shadow of a doubt of Officer Marshall and his shitty beard dressed up as the victim?
Well, who am I kidding? I don't have anything like that.
I can see the fear in your eyes, partner. Seems you're the one who couldn't take the desert heat.
Ack! This can't be happening. It's so obvious he's the one. What can I do? Humph! It looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed. I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just starting out. When you've run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics. The basics? For me, that would be what Mia used to tell me. Phaenax! Try thinking outside the box. I shouldn't look for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise. But rather, I should look for evidence that came because he was in disguise. Why do you think the locker was opened in the first place?
What do you mean?
There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. Yet he did, despite the chance it might be discovered later, as it has been. Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker.
According to the defendant's argument, Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime. Then after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason.
Fucking open the locker and see what it is! The fact that a white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that. He opened his locker in order to put the cloth inside.
So, just what exactly is this piece of cloth?
Perhaps. Perhaps the video is the key to all of our unanswered questions. I don't have any evidence, so this video's my only shot. Basics like 4 water, god damn it. More than that, if it was indeed Goodman who entered the room, would have had problems showing his card. Yeah. Exactly.
Very well, let's take another look at the security tape. After committing the crime, the witness opened the locker to put away the white cloth. Please show us why the witness had the locker open.
I don't fucking know. It's not the glove, that's outside the locker, right? Yeah, that thing. That's outside on the floor. Play. Whoops, my bad. Okay, alright, yep. There he is, opening it up. Glove falls on the floor. Here comes Mike. Splashed at him with a knife. I think maybe the bloody coat, right? That would make sense, right? He's hiding the bloody coat. That makes the most sense to me. For some reason, you disguised yourself as Detective Goodman and entered the evidence room, though I don't know to what end yet. However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When he asked you to show you his ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked, and the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood.
A bloody white coat?
You couldn't just walk out like that, so you hid the coat in your locker. Not bad, partner. Something just opening his locker would have revealed, mind you. Just, have him subpoena the locker, open it up.
Now then, Officer Marshall, are you ready to tell us the truth? Looks like I underestimated y'all.
I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth. What? Why?
2 years ago, if you were only half as persistent then as you are today, we all wouldn't have had to be here now would we?
Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did. All of it.
All right. Seems the time has come.
Yeah, if it was Goodman, he could easily pull rank on Meekins and tell him to fuck off, or just, tell him he was getting some evidence, investigating, and, none of it would raise any suspicions at all. There was literally no need to pull a knife on him. If it actually was Goodman who entered the evidence room with his own card. Yeah, absolutely.
Marshall's confession. I had to do it that day. I just couldn't stand by and let it die.
Doing voices really makes me yawn for whatever reason. It happens. Too many voices makes me yawn. It's weird.
I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him, planned to take out the evidence. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out and managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on the camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. So the supposed victim was really you.
But there's only one thing I still don't understand. Traces of a large quantity of blood were found on the floor of the evidence room. If no one was murdered, then how could that be?
Officer Meekins managed to cut his own head.
It wasn't even you! God damn it.
My guess is he's the donor.
It was way too much blood for such a small donation. Cut his own hand. God damn it, Meekins. Had to do it that day, just couldn't stand by. If no one did anything shady at all, this wouldn't have happened. Come on now, people. Well, the SL9 case is Joe Dark killing. You really want to drag Joe back from the grave and be like, oi, naughty man, if you'd never done it, this wouldn't have happened. I hate you so much. When you say it, you mean...
Do you even have to ask, partner?
The SL9 incident. 2 years have passed since that case was closed. It was going to completely end with the transfer that day.
Not if I had anything to do with it. The incident's not over.
But why did you hope? What did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room?
When a case is closed, only the case's lead detective can look through the evidence. I wanted to have a look at it myself one more time. No matter what the cost. I don't care what anyone says, partner. That case is mine.
But Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation. Why does he care so much about it?
That day was my last chance. That's why
Probably because his brother was killed. I assume that's this, Neil Marshall character among Joe Dark's victims. Why'd you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman?
If I didn't make it look like Goodman was carrying out an evidence transferal, I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere.
So you didn't fool the security camera.
And the detective's ID card? Stole that the morning of the incident.
So that really was why Goodman started filing out that lost item report.
I returned his ID card and left it on the floor at the prosecutor's parking lot.
Gee, thanks. The ID card I found was left by Officer Marshall. So essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight.
What do you mean, partner?
One of Joe's victims is clearly related to the cowboy wannabe. Damn it, Phoenix. I mean the fingerprint-activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Under normal circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to open that locker. But he could, because a rubber glove just happened to get stuck in the door. That means Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins, knocked him out. You pulled a knife on Officer Meekins and tried to drive him off?
Let's just say I was a little surprised. I only planned on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I didn't think anyone would actually come in during that short time. Officer Meekins certainly is a 1 in a million type of person, mistaking a detective for an intruder and demanding to be shown his ID.
I'll have to think a little more about his raise this year.
How did Edgeworth get so much influence?
That's a good point.
Anyway, he threw himself at me and I ended up cutting him slightly. I'm sorry it had to turn out that way, with me knocking him out and everything.
By the way, what happened to your knife?
Oh, you mean this one? The one I'm shaving with?
I don't know what to say.
So you knocked Officer Meekins out and managed to escape.
Knew which areas wouldn't be caught on camera. So you did your research beforehand.
Those who go into the desert unprepared don't live long, partner. I didn't think it would make a difference, though. Security tape erased every 6 hours. If all had gone planned, no footage would have been left.
However, you bloodied your coat in your struggle with Officer Meekins.
If someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there.
What was Officer Meekins doing during that time?
What else? He was sleeping like a baby. What you're saying is, on that day,
wasn't any murder in the evidence room. But the blood found at the scene certainly indicates crime took place.
what are you, blind?
The victim showed on the tape, and I'm not dead yet, partner. You stole evidence from a locker.
Actually, no, I didn't.
Why not?
When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone.
What?
Mr. Edgeworth, where is the evidence?
It's still missing, Your Honor. That's curious. Goodman's locker was already empty. Someone else stole the evidence. Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing?
Fire away, partner. It's a free country.
Just remember, it's also free to decide whether or not to answer. No, you're on the stand, so... Why did you do this? Stealing a detective's ID during injuring a police officer? This is no small offense! Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. It can't just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary. Not that salary cuts are ever a valid solution.
Like I said, this isn't your case. This one's mine. I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with. The witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more.
Can't just forget about SL9. You know why? Tell me! The case was solved 2 years ago, wasn't it?
That's the reason the evidence was stored into the evidence room.
Joe Dock was convicted for his crimes. One thing I can say for sure is he deserved his sentence.
I remember the Joe Dock case. It involved a serial murder, did it not? I don't intend to complain about how it turned out, but there's something that still bothers me. Something went down at that trial. Something no one will talk about.
What happened?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to find out.
What do you mean? What? Why is he so concerned with that incident? Maybe I should present him with what I think the real reason is. Alright. Okay, you know why? I do know why. Here's the case file. Kind of with Chin Man on that one. He said several times that he isn't familiar with detectives and saw some weird dude in the evidence room and acted according to protocol and all that. Yeah, well. Officer Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SL9 incident.
Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner.
Times, not types. Ahem. I have the SL9 incident file here. The name, Marshall, is mentioned in here. In a list of murder victims. Neil Marshall. Are you related to this man? Neil Marshall?
Yeah, I'm sure you've heard that name. 2 years ago.
Wow, none of them aged a day.
He received the same lousy prosecutor award you got.
What? A prosecutor? He must be talking about the King of Prosecutors award. How did Manfred von Karma not win that? No, I remember. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the SL9 case before I did.
That's right. He was killed. And the case fell into your hands.
But what's his relation to you?
He was my brother. He was investigating the murders with Damon Gant, the then Deputy Chief of Police. Ahem.
Oh yeah, there he is in the corner. A group of detectives I was a part of worked under them. We were desperate to prosecute the killer. Ugh, yeah, he did it. He's guilty.
Joe Dark. My brother fought Dark and was killed. That was the first time Dark left behind any evidence. That was all we needed. Oof.
He was arranged and incarcerated.
The case was finally closed, at least according to public records.
What do you mean?
My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight.
And that's it. That's your reason for this insane action. That's pretty weak. I won't lie. That's pretty damn weak.
There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try and hide it, you can't fool me. Well, at least one thing's for certain. Now we know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime.
That was the last day of the SL9 case could be reopened. Not satisfied with the resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence. Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered into the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled. Even if he didn't, it's clearly very shady. He should have been investigated anyway, you know, just in case. What do you mean? Even if he didn't, what? Yes, the mystery has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day. Wait a minute. Oh, shit! The things that happen by chance never cease to amaze. At exactly the same time as the murder at the prosecutor's office, this fake murder was going on at the police department. Chance? It's got to be more than just that.
So, if no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime, that means the murder in the prosecutor's parking lot was the real one.
Which in turn means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye.
Objection!
But wait! Shit! A verdict wasn't reached yesterday in today's trial.
Objection!
Which is why we examine the incident at the police department today. Ah, shit, you're right. There's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remained the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department.
Seems to me the boys got the draw on you, partner.
Yep, Phoenix, you're a fucking idiot. All of the mysteries of the police department have been resolved, no doubt about it. I mean, if he wasn't a murder suspect, he should have been investigated just in case. Like, look. Oh, yeah, clear. Yeah. Glad we're on the same. Okay. Yeah, Joe Dark, clearly a murderer. Our sole murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Skye, and the testimony of one Miss Angel Star is complete. I don't think it is, but okay. If you have a response, make it a single word or less. Arg. I rest my case.
It seems this trial has reached its conclusion. There's no room for doubt.
Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I don't need to waste my time disproving this alleged murder at the police department. Yep, that was real dumb. There's no doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder of the security camera tape really was fake. But I didn't realize it would end up proving Lana guilty. Really? That didn't occur to you? Occurred to me, I assumed you would just go along with it. God, you're an idiot.
Now then, the time has come for the verdict has arrived. The court finds the defendant.
Someone holds it. Oh.
Your Honor, wait!
Emma.
The defense has an objection, a scientific one. Right?
What? What do you mean, right?
Mr. Wright? Are you this girl's guardian?
Your Honor? Oh, in a sense.
She seems less, what's the word? Spiritual than I remember her to be.
Please, Your Honor, all I'm asking for is a minute of your time. Please, hear me out. Mr. Edgeworth, please.
I don't want to leave any loose ends. If you want a minute, I'll give you 3. Wow, how generous.
I was kind of in shock. I mean, finding out the SL9 incident referred to the Joe Dark killings.
Now that she mentions it, the names of both Sky Sisters were in that file.
But that's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. So I knew this fingerprint had nothing to do with the crime. That left only one thing, the other handprint.
You mean the traces of blood found on Detective Gumshoe's locker?
But no fingerprints were found on it, right?
No, but I figured it out. I examined it scientifically. If I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue. So I ran over there and looked at it again.
Did you find something?
No.
Well, thanks. I mean, great wasted effort there. Also, what's with the bozos misspelling my name? Like, how hard is it to properly spell R? Yeah, they just need a second A is all they need. And if they had more, you could say they're dragging out the A, you know? But it's only ever one A. I think they've had a multiple A'd ACK, but never an ARD. Huh?
Sorry, I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all.
You ran into the court with that, huh? Is that all?
Please don't be mad. I'm just a high school student.
And I'm just an attorney.
But Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have. If we can't find something wrong with them... Please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional. If anyone can save Lana, it's you.
I mean, it checks out. If it's his bloody hand, I'm guessing he put it here to, like, steady himself. Whew. And then just, like, you know, took the hand away. Me? Oh, boy.
Time's up. Now then, Mr. Wright. With regard to the incident at the police department, does any reasonable doubt remain?
It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. Looking at the floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this?
Mr. Wright, I'm sorry I couldn't be of more use. But still, if you can't find anything wrong with the blood mark, Lana will be...
Please answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day.
Yes, Your Honor!
If ever I needed to concentrate, it's now.
Oh boy, what could be wrong with the handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker? Could there be something I'm missing? It's the right hand. Right? It's the right hand? Where's the, Doesn't tell me what it is. Okay. Yeah, it's the right hand because the thumb is on the left side. It's there and it's just swiped away. We can't see if it was already there or not. Thanks, fucking Badger. You're the best. Let's watch the video again for fun. There's in fact a problem with the handprint, won't say anything else about it. Very weird that she's also wearing a coat covered in blood, and that showed up in Neil Marshall's thing. Or Jake Marshall's trial, excuse me. Was allegedly dancing in the evidence room. Remember it as well, it's still fresh in my mind from when I played it a few months ago. No spoilers, correct. There's a problem with the handprint. wish it would show me the handprint rather than just where it is. I mean... You could wonder why Marshall didn't wipe that one up, but he wiped the other one up. It's really all I've got.
Objection!
Handprint left at the crime scene. Clearly shows a contradiction, does it? The only thing that seems clear is you're grasping, Mr. Wright. Certainly am.
You've been staring pretty intently at those floor plans.
Certainly was.
Tell me, is there a problem with them?
Yes, this is strange. Take a good look at the floor plans. Something is missing. Missing? You mean something hasn't been drawn on here? Yes, something that when drawn completely changes the meaning of the blood mark.
Let us pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. Very well, Mr. Wright.
With all this evidence here, there's got to be something I can use.
Question is, which item can prove something is missing in the floor plans?
So my logic is Jake Marshall would have seen the blood print and wiped it up, but he didn't. So why didn't he? Is it because my perspective is wrong and the Badger's in front of the locker? Because I thought the Badger, looking at this, I thought the Badger was like in front of the camera and that there's space between him and the locker. It might be that he's like just a couple inches in front of the... He is walking in front of the Badger. Okay. So this?
As they say back west, even a blind man can hit with buckshot. That is, so long as he's facing the general direction.
Seems Mr. Wright's not showing which direction to face. What? It's no use. The more evidence, the greater chance of being wrong.
Just calm down, Mr. Wright. Try and
How about the blue Badger then? Jeez. Might be another. No. Let's pray it. Shit. Yep, that's my attorney's badge. Oh, hey, my number. Cool. A number is engraved on the back of the badge. I wish they'd put my name on it instead. Badger? Fucking Badger. I hate that goddamn thing. No more spoilers, to be exact.
What about that piece of plywood?
The Blue Badger, mascot of the police force. Defender of truth, guardian of proof. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. Fucking Badger. Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene, or, you know, the fucking video. Blue Badger's not here.
So
watch what happens when we put him in. This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime. Yeah, I thought he was closer to the camera than that, initially. I assumed, like... Yeah, like, it's only a couple inches between him and the locker. I thought it was, like, right in front of the camera, and you were walking between him and the locker. Well...
Well...
What? That's right. As long as the Blue Badger is dancing here, it would be impossible to place a handprint in this bottle locker!
What? Oh my god.
Are he and Emma just, like, getting back and forth? Like, oh, excuse me.
No, I'm sorry. I'll back away.
No, it's fine.
What? So this means, what exactly does this mean?
It means it can't be done!
What are you saying? Blood traces were undeniably found in that locker.
Don't look at me. I didn't put it there.
Mr. Wright, think it through scientifically. Emma. On that afternoon.
In your defense, the video wasn't super good with showing you the exact placement of the Badger. Nah, it wasn't. He does walk in front of it right there at the end as he's moving past it, but it's not the clearest thing in the world. Officer Meekins was the one who brought the Blue Badger to the evidence room, right? After he put it down, it would have been impossible to leave a handprint on that locker.
That must mean this blood mark
Was left there before the Blue Badger was brought in.
Just one moment. I will not allow for such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom.
Really? It might sound far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's the only possible explanation. Also, you passed the 3-hour mark. I'm waiting for a good stopping point here, like a new witness or something. On February 21st in the police department's evidence room. Blood was spilled not once but twice! But how? One time was captured on this tape, taken by a security camera. Officer Meekins cut his hand, from which a trivial amount of blood fell. The problem is, the other time. Twice? Honestly, now I'm curious how Marshall got out of the, line of sight of the camera. Was he just crawling on the floor to get away? Because that would be weird. I thought he, ducked behind the badger as the camera was passing it, so he knew he wouldn't get caught. Someone bled prior to the struggle shown on this tape. It had to have been. It had to have been Detective Goodman when he was really murdered. This is ridiculous! I refuse to accept your absurd claim! The murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be a fake. However, that does not explain the blood mark found in the locker. So then, assuming this murder you propound really happened, when did it take place? I demand you show some evidence when proves when it was occurred. When did the first incident occur?
To summarize the defense's claim that Prior Officer Meekins had been cut by Jake Marshall, who was posing as Detective Goodman.
I assume he sort of shimmied along the wall below the camera. Maybe. Still twice. Murdered 3 times.
Another incident took place in that evidence room.
That's right. The blood mark on the locker proved this. Gotta keep the dance going.
Very well, then tell us. When did the first incident occur? As Mr. Edwards said, proof must be presented.
Proof that shows when the murder took place. There's only one piece of evidence that can show that.
Now then, will the defense please present its evidence? What shows when the first crime took place?
Okay. It's exhausting doing that. I would assume this, right? Oh, shit. Really wanted to check that first. Really, hit the wrong button. If the crime took place inside the evidence room, the killer would have had to have entered it. And in order to do so, an ID card would have been required. I was right. Whew! Dodge that bullet.
An ID card? Oh! The ID record!
Fuck you! I'm just gonna do this for get up and move. Officer Meekins brought the Blue Badger panel into the evidence room. Let's see here. 450! If the crime took place before that, there would be 440. Ah!
Ah! Miles Edgeworth! Just what have you done? I never would have figured you had the nerve, boy.
Drop the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out it couldn't have been me.
Nope, I ain't getting it. I'm afraid I don't understand either.
It's clear from the luminol the blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Meekins and Marshall failed to notice the blood. That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away by the real murderer. It would have been just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible.
That would mean the crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence room.
Let's look at the chart again. Ah, so it's 7s. There's only one other card number remaining. 777 777 7.
Talk about a lucky number.
Oh my god, 7s. Poor Miles can't catch a break with these morons.
But wait! That doesn't make sense! How could Detective Goodman have entered the evidence room?
Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with 7777777.
Mr. Edgeworth, please look into this ASAP. Find out whose ID...
Fuck off, Judge. Find out whose ID number is 77777777777. That's 17 too many, Your Honor. Fucking shut up. Shut the fuck up, game. Shut the fuck up. Unfortunately, I'm unable to look up the owner of that ID card. At least at present. What? Explain yourself, son. The ID number 7777777 belongs to someone with the rank of captain or higher. Equals 49. It's 7 7s. Yeah, I'm aware. It's actually 7 7s if my count is correct. Correct, yes, it's 7 7s. Judge said 8. Also the word 7 and not the number. Lana did it. Shut up, you.
Someone who's a so-called executive officer. We don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity. But that's ridiculous! Just how I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There is one situation in which we can be granted such authority. If an official charge filed against an executive is accepted, an official charge. You're all alike, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries. That's how a prosecutor's office operates. I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate it if you would keep your slander to yourself. Slander, is it? Okay. Let me ask you a question. Yes? No, not you. To her, the defendant sitting over there. Your own little executive. Lana. Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course we've looked up her ID number. And it's not 777777777. Don't play me for a fool, partner. That's not what I want to ask. All I want to know is one thing about that incident.
Okay, Lana's innocent. Thank goodness.
The SL9 incident. Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In that trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence?
Bang. I'll just step down so you can get up on the podium. Thank you very much. Do you need the witness to repeat his question, Chief Prosecutor? Please don't. We'll have to drag him back up here, and you'll have to go sit there. It's a whole thing. I heard him fine, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for that trial. At the time, we felt powerlessness of the law. At least, I did.
What?
Lana!
I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with law. But before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law.
Defendant? Just what are you saying? Excuse me while I get up here. I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all evidence in court? Can you look me, an investigator in that crime, in the eyes and say that you did it? Chief Prosecutor, you didn't!
Excuse me, I'll just get down here while you get back up. Yes, thank you very much. Really should find a better system for this. I don't have to, Officer Marshall.
Why won't you answer him?
Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to, in order for him to get the verdict he deserved.
But Lana!
Even if it involved forging evidence. My God.
I'll just get back up here on the witness stand. See, that's what I'm talking about.
No. No! Oh, she's back up there now.
Order! Order! Order!
Lander's remarks caused such a stir. The chaos in the courtroom could not be quelled. The conclusion of the trial would have to wait until the following day. I don't even know which executive the Sevens belong to. How the hell are they supposed to charge it against the person? A bit of an oversight it is. Robble, yep. This case is so fucking long. On the next stream, more of this case. She admits to getting a dude in jail on false evidence. Huh? Pretty much, that's what it sounds like. A guy who clearly did it. But anyway, on Monday, more of this trial. But I have news about that. Just not in jail executed. Yeah, he was true. As some of you may know, I've been working the night shift lately over at work in order to do these streams quite comfortably. 1 to 4 being optimal time since I'm not at work. That is no longer the case, as unfortunately not enough people are on the night shift to keep up with security protocols. Despite every effort I made to keep it alive, there just weren't enough people going into the night shift to make it viable. As such, the night shift has come to an end. Tomorrow is my first real day back at the work on day shift. I no longer have 410s. I still have to work Fridays again, because the hours I want are also completely unavailable. Bastards that they are. My new shift is 4 to noon, which my office is about 20 minutes away from home. I will try and continue my schedule as is present. you will forgive me if I will ultimately have to push it back an hour due to this. I didn't want to do this, but I don't really have a choice. I'm going to try and keep the same hours, but it might be that I have to stream an hour later. It will still go an hour later as a result. It will be 2 to 5, no longer 1 to 4, but my hours might be changing. We're going to play it by ear, and we're going to see. I might be able to keep up with the 1 to 4 that I've been doing, which would be great. I'd love to continue that. Might be going a bit later. But that's what it is. So, thank you everyone for watching. I will hopefully see you tomorrow at the same usual time. I will be just off of work from my day shift, so you forgive me if I might be a little out of sorts as well. But yeah, at worst case scenario, the streams are going to get pushed back an hour so that, I have time to get home and compose myself and everything. We're kind of going to just see how it goes, but I will try my hardest tomorrow to be streaming at the same regular time, as well as Thursdays and Fridays. I would love nothing more than to... Honestly, I'd love nothing more than for this to be my full-time job, but you're not all rich millionaires who can toss money at me for, your pet monkey to entertain you on stream while Gumshoe and Edgeworth make him fume and rage and shake his fist at the sky, playing any old JRPG he wants. So, until that day, I'm a slave to the 5 to 9, or the 4 to 12, as it were. So, thank you everyone for watching. I will see you all tomorrow. Talk to Lair Negotiators. Love you all. Be good people.